Let's go! I'm just letting the opening play for a moment. It's really great. Okay, now we can go to Lupin. Zuna trying to break into my room again. Bold of you to assume the gameplay of the recording is blocked when I have a capture card. Mandatory FU him. Dilly and Cece, who had stayed behind at the mansion, joined us as well. Sorry, grabbing a wafer stick. They're likely relaxing in a separate room right now, along with Shomes. This will be our hideout for a while. There are several rooms, so just choose whichever one you want. We're gonna stay here? What about St. Germain's mansion? Under the— Don't you dare come in here! I know you! I see your head, Luna! Get back down! Hold on. I'm also drying my hair, so sometimes I may not hear you say something else. Oh, it's fine. It's in a quiet moment at the moment. Under these circumstances, it's safer to stay here than to go back. We'll also need to cooperate closely with the government. This is the place— this is the best place to call home in terms of convenience. With that in mind, Lupin looks over at me. Cardia, tell everyone everything that's happened. You left alone without saying anything. You owe them an explanation at the very least. I nod in response. Puppy attack? Yeah, Luna came in and poked her head and was like, "Hi, Mom! Can I come in while you're streaming again?" First, I want to apologize. I'm sorry, everyone. What's past is past. I'm fine as long as you're sorry about it. Thanks, Sundere boy. Van Helsing replies in a quiet voice, and it seems everyone else is in agreement. I start to speak slowly, feeling thankful for their warmth. I tell them how I went to my previous home in Wales in search for clues, alone, so as to not cause them any more trouble. I proceeded to cause them trouble. I tell them about the notebook I found there and the words "code realize." I tell them about Lupin joining me. I tell them about Father's secret that lies beneath St. Paul's Cathedral. I tell them about how we learned about the revolt in London while on the train. We learned that Finnis had been behind everything, and then we had rescued the Queen and agreed to cooperate to a cooperative relationship with them. I tell them all of this. Wait, I just realized I'm gonna need the this guide up again. Because otherwise, I don't want to screw over this playthrough and have to zoom through it again. Because I made one wrong choice. After I'm done talking, I think I already made the one choice in this chapter. Shout out to Atome Labyrinth for their wonderful guide. Yes I did, okay. They're all looking at me in shock. What's the matter? Wow, you went through a pretty unbelievable adventure. Rescuing the queen from a besieged castle. That's almost like a fairy tale. But we don't know how this fairy tale ends. Isn't that right, Lupin? Lupin nods and picks up where I left off. Yeah, Finis currently has the upper hand. It's only a matter of time before London falls. And if this civil war goes on, the other countries may begin to take action. Attacked from both the inside and out, this nation will be in quite a predicament. So that's why Victoria has called their forces together to put an end to all of this as quickly as possible. Lupin nods to Van Helsing, confirming his statement. The rebels won't amount to much trouble once we crush Twilight, so we're all going to cut off the head of the snake. The enemy's home base is in St. Paul's Cathedral. You all are going to assault it using the troops that Victoria's gathered. In the meantime, Cardia and I will enter St. Paul's using the confusion of the attack as cover. Then we'll bring all the secrets to light. I nod with them, but a small part of me still has doubts. Maybe I don't want to find out the truth. I'll give up on trying to cure my poison, but I also feel that something needs to change. I have to make up my mind and go for it at some point. I suppose now is that time. I'll say this up front that the mission is extremely dangerous. Your lives will truly be on the line. If you're not willing to face that, then stay behind. Nobody moves an inch. Of course they'll stick around. I feel that I can hear them all saying that. You guys... It's reassuring, but I'm also anxious. My heart's filled with a mixture of both joy and nervousness. Cardia, looks like everyone's in. Is there anything else that you'd like to add? Thank you. I'm sorry for getting all of you involved. I know that's really my own personal issue, but thank you. I really need your help to keep moving forward. I've always had my own objective. There's no need to feel no need for you to feel sorry about it. Love you too, you tsundere asshole. Isaac's secret? Perhaps the reason behind Finis' immortality become clear once we find out. There may be a clue on how to cure your how your poison can be treated, as well. I'll stick with you until the end, of course. Thanks, Victor. And I am the world's greatest engineer, as well as a warrior of love. So what does that mean? Cardia, it means I would die for you. Van Helsing keeps being a super soon. That's him. Count me in as well. This is an unprecedented event in history of mankind. I shall do my best to help, if it means that I can spend this unique experience with you all. Lastly, Lupin stands in front of me. My pretty mademoiselle, for you, this gentleman thief and his gang will make the impossible happen. He goes down on one knee and gently extends his hand. Dude, wait, we haven't solved everything yet! If you would be so as obliged as to accept our offer, please take my hand. His voice and words have always made me smile. I know very well that these theatrical acts of his are always filled with kindness and consideration. Even now, it feels like I'm wrapped up in his kindness. I gently put my hand out and Lupin takes it. He smiles, then lightly kisses the back of my hand. Of course she's wearing her gloves! Midnight, I leave my room and go out to the street to gaze up at the sky in a daze. All of London is currently at war, yet the skies above us remain as calm as always. But... probably won't be long before Victoria commands an all-out assault on St. Paul's. And that will also be the moment I find out about my secret. I want to get rid of this poison. I want to be human, not a monster. Although, a part of me feels this way. I don't want to know. I want to run away. Another part of me feels differently. Stargazing? I hear a voice from behind. Saint Germain stands there smiling. I couldn't sleep. I'm not looking at the stars, just looking. I see. I understand that you may feel unsettled, considering what's about to take place. Emotional balance is important. What are you doing here? Saint Germain hesitates and looks over at me. His smile is somewhat melancholic, although I don't know why. I was looking for you, Miss Cardia. Me? Why? I stiffened slightly, thinking about the mission might already be about to begin. You can relax. There's just someone I'd like you to meet. Oh god, is this when Omnibus comes back in? You want me to meet somebody? Wonder who it is. I have no idea who he might be bringing in at this moment, but I sense that he's debating something. Shall we take a walk? It would be nice if you could bear it with me for just a little while. I agree to suggestion and we begin walking. As soon as we begin walking, I notice something. It feels like the way Saint Germain walks and the way his footsteps sound seems to strangely lack his usual elegance. Sorry, I've got the hiccups somehow. What's the matter, Saint Germain? Is something bothering you? I can't help but ask him, but Saint Germain lets out a small sigh. Are you able to read people's minds? It's not that. It's just a little I was just a little worried. If you don't want to tell me, that's fine. It's true, my heart is restless. For the first time in a long, long while. Why now, then? It's your fault. What? Saint Germain grimaces and continues. It's also likely due to all the others I've been surrounding myself with. He slowly begins walking again as he speaks to me. Long ago, oh yeah, here we go. Long ago, man was banished from paradise. God deemed us unworthy of his grace because he's an asshole because we ate a fruit. What is this all about? Basically, it is called the original sin. Since then, we humans have continued to seek forgiveness. Forgiveness from God? Yes, so that he may someday forgive our sinful souls, living each day, hoping for God's mercy. That is the history of humanity. I don't really understand, but will God forgive us one day? I suppose. Only God really knows. Saint Germain smiles and continues. We must move forward on the correct path if we are to achieve salvation. Salvation? Correct path? Yes, the correct path of history. But humans are weak and make mistakes. There is a devil living in our hearts, always tempting us towards mistakes. And that is why there must be someone to watch human history and correct these errors. Saint Germain's tone is very serious. What is he trying to tell me? Saint Germain? What are you talking about? Since ancient times, there has been an organization in this world that has been overseeing history from the shadows. Join my cult, Cardia! They are called Idea. They prevent mankind from making mistakes by a variety of means, such as what to have for breakfast, and that your outfit looks terrible, so that we can achieve our correct fate. I am one of the apostles of Idea. This is very happy music for supposedly a very serious bombshell. What? That sounds like some sort of joke, but Saint Germain is completely serious as he tells me about it. He's more serious than he's ever been in all of our time together. That alone is more than enough for me to know that what he's saying now is not a joke or a lie. Idea is currently very interested in your existence. Me? Saint Germain stops. Yes. Idea believes you are a mistake that must be removed. Before I can ask him what he means by that, I notice a tense expression on his face. He's looking ahead at... Yeah, they're here. Hi! An elderly woman seated in a wheelchair and another woman is wearing a full suit of plate armor. The moonlight shines down upon them. The elderly woman has a kind smile, in contrast to the blank expression on the armored woman's face. There had been no one there a second ago.
It seems that Saint Germain has gone ahead and told you the most of it. I feel like he's still on our thunder.
Who are you? I ask her cautiously.
I am Omnibus, the leader of Idea. I've come to kill you.
She's gonna stab me with a knitting needle. What? Kill me? The words seem unreal to begin with, but I hear them from the mouth of the kindly old lady that makes them seem even more surreal.
Isaac Beckford's daughter, the one who is the key to initiating Code Realize.
An eternal war spanning all nations, overseen by an absolute power. In order for Father to be reborn as a supreme power, he needs my spirit vessel. And sister, your heart. He needs the horologium. The first person, this person must know about the plan Finnis spoke of. Yeah, because he's kind of announced it to the whole world. I become uneasy, knowing that she's aware of who I am, and I start to feel my palms grow sweaty.
The two of you are Isaac's cursed children. Neither of you should be allowed to exist in this world. You will derail mankind from its ordained history, causing a great disaster. That is what you siblings will do. As one who guards history, I cannot simply overlook this.
As Omnibus says this, the armored woman takes a step forward. At the same time, Saint Germain steps in front of me.
What is the meaning of this?
Saint Germain simply stares quietly, yet resolutely at the two newcomers.
I have finally made up my mind. You're going to protect her. Perhaps you've grown too attached. I won't deny that. However, more than that, I want to believe. Even if her existence is a mistake. The path she walks upon could not be one.
Saint Germain quickly flicks his wrist and a blade snaps out of his sleeve. The woman facing him pulls a huge sword from the scabbard on her back and takes a fighting stance.
You're saying that she's worthy of betraying us for... She is. At least for me.
The atmosphere is extremely tense. I still don't quite understand the situation, but I'm about to try and reason with them when Omnibus speaks again.
Saint Germain, Guinevere, can you both please put your weapons away?
So the woman's name is Guinevere. She obeys Omnibus's suggestion and immediately stows her sword. Seeing her react this way, I can tell that Omnibus's words are absolute to her. Saint Germain puts his blade away as well. I like when you have a character like Omnibus who looks good but is actually bad.
You two are important assets to the forces of Idea. Now that Isaac's plan is in motion, I have no intention of losing you.
Then you'll allow her to go.
That is not what I said. I'm just going to change my approach.
Omnibus's wheelchair begins to move on its own. She stops in front of me and offers me a small bag.
What's this? Just a simple poison. If you take it, your death will be comfortable.
Poison? I hesitate and look at Omnibus. You want me to kill myself with this?
I certainly would appreciate it if you would. I won't force you. However, a time will come when you yourself will have need of the poison. If you fall into Isaac's hands, the world will be engulfed in flames of never-ending war.
I don't know what to do. What Omnibus says is most likely true. If Father plans to require the horologium, then my death will be most certain and least risky way to prevent it from getting into his hands. Romeo and Juliet time!
What do you say?
I'll hang on to it. I quietly take the small bag from her and hold it to my palm. I don't even want to consider the possibility, but the chances are great that I will come to need this sometime soon.
Are you sure? I'm just taking it. I don't need to use it.
I smile at him so he doesn't worry. A new god overseeing an eternal war. It's probably better that I take the poison along with me than risk being something like that into the world. Oh, bringing something like that into the world. It'll be my final backup measure.
It won't be a problem.
So the thing is, if we made wrong choices, Cardia will take the poison later on in the game. That's not what we want. Saint Germain stares at me for a moment and then eventually nods. If I'm correct, she takes it when she thinks Lupin dies later on. And then he wakes up. And it's very sad. Alright, if you're fine with this. Because I had to get all the bad ends before on the beta version to get the trophies. A lot of them are very heartbreaking. Who's at my door? Oh, hi, thank you for the clothes. It was my brother. I thought it was Luna again. Saint Germain, the world faces an unprecedented crisis. We have need of your strength for what is to come. I'd like you to be an ally until the end. A breeze blows through the area. I'm distracted for a moment and the next section second idea has disappeared.
Miss Cardia.
Saint Germain looks at me concerned.
I'm fine.
I look at him and smile.
Thank you for protecting me.
No, I wasn't able to protect you.
I haven't been able to erase any of the things that bring you pain.
He says this with a melancholic smile. My mind wanders. I lay in bed in a daze. Victor was considerate enough to bring me some special sleeping goods from the mansion, so I'm free to toss and turn. Thanks to that, laying down should be a comfortable affair. Yet I can't sleep. It's probably only natural, considering that everything that has transpired. In the end, after some thought, I decide to go outside once more to feel the cool night air. I love to look at the backgrounds in this game. I walk around aimlessly and then settle down in a space between two shops. There's an endless stream of steam and melancholic sounds from the nearby factory. It's hard to believe that this place is currently in the middle of a war. They shall be a TCP rep. They already are! If you look at the inspiration page, Code Realize is on there. Where was it on there? Yeah, World Inspirations. It is... Yeah, it's right under the Liar Princess. What's that saying? Calm before the storm? I mumbled to myself and then put my hand in my pocket and pull out the item that I put there. The evil M&Ms. The poison omnibus gave me. Under the moonlight, the small bag casts a shadow upon my palm. If I take this, I will die. Is death really accurate when it comes to me? I waste time thinking about this pointless distinction, but I can tell that I'm only trying to avoid the real issue. Even this musing is disturbed by the sudden sound of the muffled explosions in the distance. The noise snaps me back to reality. Even now, as I sit here in contemplation, people are fighting and getting hurt, even losing their lives. That's when I notice for the first time, my arm is trembling. My entire body is trembling, actually. I find myself fearing the reality of death that faces me. And while I'm thinking about these worries, a particular thought comes to me. I'm afraid to die. My voice sounds utterly cold and detached. It's hard to believe it's my own. Hey, what are you doing out here? You should stay put in your own room. I was lost in my thoughts and I didn't notice anyone approach me. I look up to see Lupin, who's a little annoyed. I quickly hide the small bag that I've been holding so that he doesn't notice it.
Lupin, why did you come out here?
Same to you. You shouldn't be out alone. So what is it? Did something happen?
What? Don't you what me? You look like you're about to burst into tears. It's nothing, you're imagining things.
Lupin stares at me for a moment, then mutters,
If you say so. I'm ashamed of myself considering taking my own life so easily, thinking back at all the things Lupin has done for me. I feel another wave of self-loathing come over me. He's a wonderful man who has saved me. His kindness and sincerity are like a ray of light that shines upon everyone around him. I really think that he's the complete opposite of me. Thoughts like these cause a prickle of pain in my heart. You don't have to tell me if you don't want to. Then, I guess, I'll just take a little break here too.
He doesn't criticize me for leaving my room, he just simply sits down next to me.
I know why he would do something like this for me, and what it means. I understand it perfectly. Right now, he's trying to console me because I look sad. He doesn't even ask for an explanation. He's sitting close by. He's demonstrated his kindness to me any number of times now. He doesn't have to say anything at all for me to understand what his intentions are. Lupin? That's the very reason why I can't help but ask him about it. Why have you done so much for me?
Perhaps I'm being a little too vague as Lupin looks at me suspiciously.
It just doesn't make sense.
I don't bother explaining myself. The words simply pour out of me, goaded by my emotions.
My poison and my secret, I don't have anything to do with you.
My hands clench into a fist.
I want him to understand how I feel,
but I'm not able to find the right words to describe it. This slight sense of indignation makes my words all the more forceful.
I don't understand why you would go through all that you've done to help me. I just don't see why you're risking your life for me.
But even after I tell him everything, he simply smiles his usual smile and shrugs his shoulders.
Why am I helping you?
Because I'm a hero. Isn't that good enough for you? This causes an inexplicable anger to build up inside me.
What do you mean, hero? Is it really good enough reason for you to get hurt?
I'm desperate. Finis and Omnibus, recalling what they told me flusters me even more.
This mission could cost you your life, right? There's a chance you might die.
I'm a doll, a monster, merely a tool for the Horologium to be transformed. My existence is an insult to humanity. I shouldn't be allowed to live. Just being alive brings misfortune to those around me.
I'm happy that you would save me. I'm so thankful, more than words can express, but you might die.
I'm shouting now, pummeling him with all the fear that might have been lying in my heart.
Why would you do that for me? Why?
My anger turns to sadness, trapped within my heart, unable to find release. Why? I have 2 reasons. When Lupin finally breaks the silence, his voice is soft. The first one, you're right. This is your fight, but it's mine as well. He looks me right in the eyes, like he did that night, long ago, when he stole me away. I can see the moon reflected in his eyes. As I've said before, this terrorist plot isn't completely unrelated to myself. He continues, though he seems a little hesitant. I got the information about this plot from my teacher.
A teacher?
Yes, the man who taught me the skills necessary to survive, and the meaning of justice. This is the first time it occurs to me. I don't know much at all about his past. Of course, I know how he came to be in London, and I know how he met Impy in Saint Germain. But I know nothing about his life prior to that. How did he come to decide that he wanted to stop these terrorists? And what made him become a thief in the first place? I suppose I've never told you why I'm here right now. Why I'm so desperate. He sighs and then begins to tell me, almost absent-mindedly. He looks up at the moon with a wistful look in his eye. Backstory time!
I was just the sort of kid you could find anywhere. An orphan, no parents or family. I lived in Paris, pickpocketing every day just to get by. I guess I had a talent for it. Dun dun. Lucky for me, I was never caught. Not even once. I guess that's not completely true. I did get caught once. I think I was around 10 years old. Tried to grab a guy's wallet, but the moment I touched it, he grabbed my arm. I resisted, but it was all over. Or so I thought. Instead of hauling me off to the police, he said to me, "You lack fundamental skills. But you have potential. I can teach you the real way to be a thief." That's how I met my teacher. He was one of those honorable thieves. He would steal from those who made their money dishonestly and pass it along to the poor. That was his job. I respected him. I was just a kid, and I genuinely thought that what he did was the most amazing thing in the world. I mean, I still do think he was amazing. He never told me his name. I found it out later on. But even now, I just think of him as my teacher. Yeah, I learned a lot from him. Infiltration, escape, theft, fraud, disguise. He taught me all the skills to come to mind when you think of thieves or spies. And then, I don't know when I asked him, "Why is he teaching me so much?" And then he told me, "I've done many dark deeds. Some I did unknowingly, others I committed fully aware of the evil I was doing. The reason I steal from the poor, and why I'm teaching you these skills for survival, is to atone for my sins. I know that none of this will forgive me for my crimes, of course." And that's about it. He never told me any more about it. Instead, he would say, "It doesn't matter what others believe to be right, but always abide by this. Protect your own definition of justice and faith with your very life. That is the only true guide to this world." That's what I was never able to do. Those words struck me deeply. They still hold great meaning to me, even to this day. As to who exactly my teacher was, I found that out much later. That's right, long after that incident. Several years later, I trained and honed my skills under his tutelage. To be completely honest, I had far surpassed him in terms of pure technique. It was then I found out by coincidence. My teacher had stopped giving money that he had stole to the poor. He had tricked me and taken advantage of me. He had used the money I had stolen to create a criminal organization. It was a huge shock. I hadn't expected that at all. My body felt heavy as lead. My teacher had been like a father to me. For a person like that to betray you, you'll never know what'll happen in life. I tried to make him stop, but he wouldn't listen. He cut me out of his life instead. It happened on a rainy day, and then I was lost, not knowing what to do. The criminal organization my teacher had created was one that preyed upon the weak. And that organization was operating off the money I had stolen. It troubled me a great deal. I then made up my mind. My teacher taught me how to survive. He gave me a principle to live by. No matter how he betrays me, my heart will always feel an awe and respect for him. What would the version of him that I feel in my heart do if he uncovered a criminal organization like that? When I thought of the way, the answer was obvious. I will bring down this organization and open my teacher's eyes. I thought it was a brilliant idea. I thought we'd be able to start over again. I infiltrated the organization and stole all their stored riches and found evidence of their crimes. I donated the money to several different orphanages and anonymously submitted the evidence to the police. But before the police could get involved, the organization collapsed on it in itself. There was an internal discord. It was because I had driven them into a tight corner. They started looking for a traitor among them and ultimately killed one another. I was at my teacher's deathbed. It was on a rainy day as well. Bad things happen when it rains. Always. He'd been tossed in the back alley like some old rag. He looked like he'd been through some cruel torture, and he had a deep wound that seemed to be critical. I could see a glance that they had done something terrible things to him. I thought he was already dead, but he looked at me and smiled. He said something to the effect of, "It's nice to know that you would shed tears for even someone like me." I pretended to be his son and made the arrangements for his funeral. I then organized his possessions so that he had left behind. That's when I found out who my teacher truly was. It was in a handwritten note that I found among his things. My teacher had originally been an agent belonging to Twilight, a member of Britain's intelligence agency. It seemed that he was quite skilled, and he was ranked pretty high too. I heard that Twilight was an excellent intelligence agency. His skills and knowledge were well beyond the average person. I was surprised, but it also made a lot of sense. I remember exactly what that note said. "I've made my escape from Britain when I saw what Isaac Beckford's plan code realized entailed. It terrified me. I may have been able to stop it if I tried. And I can tell that the regret of giving up is slowly eating away at my soul." And here's what it said at the end. "Isaac, I ran from that place so that I could stop him someday, and yet... No, perhaps it was inevitable that I would end up like this since the moment I ran. My teacher had run away from some plan and it haunted him. And I'm his student. So in order to carry out the justice that he'd never been able to, and to find out what his plan was that tortured him so badly, I came to London. You know the rest." I realized by the tone of Lupin's voice that he reached the end of his story. The origin of the great arson Lupin is something of a tragic story. I feel like I've touched a part of his life. It happened a long time ago. Cheer up. But don't you understand now? I have my own reason for fighting. A long time ago. He laughs and talks about it as if it doesn't affect him. But the story was probably not as easy to put in the past as he makes it seem. I can sense it just by looking at his face. Thank you for telling me. I understand why you would risk your life for this. Lupin looks at me and smiles. Alright, but I'm not done yet. I told you I have 2 reasons. Would you care to guess what the other one is? I spend a moment to think on what it could be, but I come up with nothing. I don't know. Here's a hint then. What's the difference between a monster and a human? I don't know what he means, but I instinctively flinch at the word monster. I was expecting a name dropping of the teacher's name, something like Moriarty. I mean, we already have Moriarty, though. That's, Alistair. They came up in vans. I don't know about that either. I don't know what he's thinking, seeing me this way, but he has some sort of grimace as he speaks to me kindly. Humans aren't people when they're born. They become human for the first time once they've truly loved someone. True, but still. So, it's about whether someone is capable of love or not. I think that's the difference between monsters and people. Lupin, bold of you to assume there are monsters that do not love, when there is a whole kink behind it. Whether one can truly love or not. I think for a while and then look up. I think... Lupin, I love you. And Victor, and Van Helsing, and Impy, and Saint Germain, and Deli, and Cece too. I enjoy being with all of you so much, and I feel so at ease. Isn't that what love is? Cardia! Cardia! Sweetie, no! I love that part. Ah, that sounds nice and fun. But the kind of love I'm talking about is a little different. What do you mean? It's the kind of I love you that you can give to one special person that you care about most in the world. He is unwillingly footsteps. You'd gladly give up everything you have just to see them smile. It's that sort of feeling I'm talking about, not the one you just put me through, Cardia. I do have that. There's someone I feel strongly for. Lupin's looking down at me kindly beneath the moonlight. A feeling both comforting and painful is spreading through my heart. I would gladly give everything I have, everything in the world. If that special feeling is what it means to love someone, then when I think of someone and feel that way, it means he's the one Lupin, is there anyone you feel this way towards? Yes, there is. When I hear that, my chest tightens and I feel like I'm suffocating. And then I realize it's because I want to be Lupin's special someone. I want him to say that he loves me. That's why it's become so painful to stay by his side. It's because I've realized that there is no way a monster like me could be good enough for someone like him. Cardia! I do love someone. I wouldn't even think twice about giving my life in order for that person. That's the other reason why I'm fighting. Cardia! Going right over her head! His voice is soft and gentle. His words exude warmth like they're wrapping themselves around something. I genuinely feel that I envy this person. How happy that person must be to be loved by him. Staying by his side, talking with him, and laughing with him. How full must their hearts be, with their endless conversations and his smile. You should not talk like that. You should have reminds you of us. That person, she's a little timid and she cries a lot. I can't keep my eyes off her when we're together. I don't want to hear this. I can't bring myself to move away either. She's really fearful when it comes to herself, but very brave when it comes to the sake of other people. Oh, it's me. His words are so warm. Even I can tell how much he loves this person. Lupin then abruptly... I'm sorry, it's taking me out again. Lupin stops abruptly for a moment as if debating something. He then opens his mouth again after a short pause. She's a foolish girl who, for some absurd reason, has to convince herself that she's some kind of monster. Huh? At first, I just felt like I needed to keep an eye on her. Yeah, I am. She looked like she'd given up on everything. I thought she was like a doll, and I don't mean in a good way. I became involved with her to further my own agenda. I guess what I decided to do in exchange was promise to make her smile. His words spread through my heart. You can feel the warmth racing through my entire body, making me feel burning hot. I can't pinpoint the moment I fell in love with her. This man always saves me. It could have been when we first met, or perhaps I gradually fell in love as we spent more time together. He really is. Just the okay. Oh, who's at the door again? Hi, Luna. I'm sorry, I'm busy, sweetie. Or maybe there wasn't any particular moment where it just clicked. But this feeling is real, understand? He's always there for me to save me. Human, monster, that stuff doesn't matter. I love you. I'm dead serious.
It occurs to me for the first time now. Every time Lupin has saved me, smiled at me, and lifted my spirits. And loved him a little bit more. I'd grown to think of him as the most important person in this world. Also, what do you mean, cutie? You should not talk like that, cutie. Should I remind you of us? Yes, I was dense! So were you! He looks cute, he does. Well, anyway, I just want to try and make her happy somehow. That's all I can think about. So, I'm going to tackle this issue seriously with everything I've got. And those are my reasons for fighting. Do you understand everything now, my beloved princess? He says this playfully, and I can't help but smile.
I don't think you need to trouble yourself with making that person happy. She's probably already quite happy. She probably already knows how much you love her.
I'm honored.
Lupin, I never realized.
See? Cardia's right. Realized what? Code. I code realized.
That I've been human for a long time now. And it's thanks to you, Lupin.
Is that so? I realized a long time ago that you're human. Cutie! Don't steal my joke! I wanted to say... You gotta be quick! He smiles mischievously, but I looked at embarrassment. But I'm happy. Look at the heroes being lovely. Sweet. The solid feeling I had from earlier has dissipated somewhat. I'm genuinely happy Lupin is here right next to me right now. I'm okay. I hope from the bottom of my heart that I can go on feeling this joy forever. Then, before dawn breaks, the preparations for the battle begin under Victoria's command. This means that she's got her forces ready to attack within 24 hours of escaping from the rebels' raid on Buckingham Palace. Although it may not be one of us paying the price, be prepared to see many lives sacrificed in the course of this battle. As Lupin said, those who don't want to face death should stay behind. Van Helsing looks around sharply at those of us who have gathered in front of him.
I'm going. I have to keep moving forward.
Any doubt I had whether or not I'm a monster have disappeared. Lupin loves me. I love Lupin. That's all I need to know.
There's no turning back now. I won't run away ever again. This battle is to decide the future of Britain. Honestly, I'm not interested in all that.
But Cardia, she might be saved. There's no way else at this now.
I'll stick around to the end as well, in order to see this thing through.
Let's get going then. Deli, take care of Cece while we're gone, alright?
I'm coming too.
We're all taken aback by this. He falls silent with a serious expression. Why? A battle between humans should be of no concern to you.
I know. I have no interest in human wars. They can quarrel amongst themselves all they want. But if this fight drags on, there will be more victims, won't there? I can't stand by and do nothing. Those with power have the responsibility to using that power for good.
Deli says this quietly and with determination.
Whether vampire or human, it would be wrong not to use my power when the weak are about to become victims.
But what about Cece, Deli? Cece will be there to guard us all. Cece is the most powerful character in the game. Deli.
I see. You've developed quite a valiant way of thinking.
Silence! I have a great deal to think about. I'm also really looking forward to when I eventually sit down and play the fan disc properly. Because there is a Deli route. It's not a romance route, but it's one where Cardia adopts Deli. And you see him actually getting older and how much he takes after her. It's very cute. Cece is secretly a god.
This is what my noble father would have done. That's all.
Give him a hug! Van Helsing lightly pats Deli on the shoulder as the boy looks down.
We appreciate your aid. Your words and how true they ring, I'll never forget them.
Van Helsing gives the vampire boy another look. I want to see it!
Thank you.
With that, he leaves the room. He just said thank you. I didn't know he had that in his vocabulary. Deli looks towards Van Helsing's back in shock. Then he smiles bravely.
Huh! I am the noble king of Nosferatu people. The king must always speak the truth.
I love my son. Deli leaves the room next, and then Impy and Victor and Saint Germain follow. I take a small breath. This is likely to be our last battle. I feel it in my bones. Lupin turns to me and then extends his hand with a serious tone, with a serious expression.
Mademoiselle Cardia, may I escort you to the path that leads to your future?
Here, hold on a second. Where is... Okay. Code realize. If I'm correct, it is... Is it Garden of Flowers? Oh, Future Blessings, that's right. I think he also has a route in the winter one too. Future Blessings CG Gallery, okay. No, that's the other boys. I don't want those boys. I want the good small child. I don't care about the Sholmes one. Where's my son? Oh, okay, here's a picture. Okay, so... I'm gonna show you a picture of what older Deli looks like. Okay, so we're gonna do this. I'm gonna hide my capture card. There we go! Older Deli! I love my son!
Mademoiselle Cardia, may I escort you to the path that leads to your future?
He looks so cute! He does! There's so many cute CGs that come from the Deli route that I've seen. I laugh at his dramatic delivery.
It would be my pleasure, Monsieur Lupin.
I gently take his hand and our eyes meet. Stream those two if you can. I think I could. It's mostly just going through them, so I don't actually make choices. It's just a straight line. But there's very cute ones. I gently take his hand and our eyes meet. I feel like our hearts have connected, and now the words are unnecessary. We travel through the middle-class district with Lupin leading us. We're supposed to break into the cathedral while dodging fire from the gun turrets during those attacks by the British troops. They spelled Monsieur. Okay, the funny thing is there's so many typos in Lupin's route, and I am so hoping that they kept the one typo in the Vita version because it is such a serious scene, and when it hit, I couldn't stop laughing for 20 minutes that I actually hurt my lungs pretty much the whole day. And had trouble talking because I was not expecting it at all. Oh, it's kind of like a, there's another one that took me and Robin out when we were playing Cafe Enchanté. Because I'm just laughing thinking about it. So there's another really serious scene that happens. And it's supposed to have a text box that just says but and ellipses there. Because it's a black screen, it's supposed to say but, as in B-U-T ... like she's thinking. But instead they made a mistake and it said nut. I think I still have it as a picture saved on my Switch because it took me out. I've never recovered from it. I think it's on Ill's route. We're supposed to break into the cathedral while dodging. Oh yeah, I read this, never mind. I go over our current situation and our mission a number of times in my head. Suddenly Lupin stops and looks ahead of us up at the street. As if in anticipation. There's an explosion in the distance, and the path ahead takes on a subtle scarlet tinge. It started. It's a pitched battle. The unit fighting in the forefront is a diversion, and a separate unit will be entering the premises. The plan is to attack both the inside and outside simultaneously, is it not? Right. I told them the best route to break in. The rest is up to Shom's plan. Crossing my fingers that Finis hasn't gone out of our plan and outplanned us. Crossed fingers won't do any good. Let's get in there before the confusion of the battle dies down. With this, Van Helsing begins running forward. We all nod to one another and then hurry towards the cathedral. St. Paul's Cathedral is already surrounded by conflagration. Explosions and gunfire seem to be adding to the fuel of the flames started by last night's battle. We hold our breaths as we run through the intense heat and smoke. Almost there. I hear fighting up ahead. Oh, this is getting pretty intense. Where are these men attacking us from? Look out, you're Twilight soldiers. Don't let your guard down or we'll all be killed. I hear the tense shouts from the soldiers. Lupin takes cover behind a collapsed wall to examine the situation. We all follow his example and join in hiding. This is looking like an uphill battle. Saint Germain peeks over the wall and reports what he observes. Seems like those who were supposed to breach the cathedral haven't gone around to it yet. We have some problems our own to deal with before we can get in. I propose a change of plans. Everyone turns to me. We enter in from the front. That way, we can reduce the number of enemies we face inside on our way in. That sounds like you want us to bulldoze our way in. I nod in response. Lupin narrows his eyes slightly as he looks out to the battlefield ahead. No, Van Helsing's idea is the most realistic. Even if we can sneak in there, there's no point if the Queen loses. So, that means we're going to be fighting too, huh? Roughhousing isn't Mr. Impy's favorite activity. If it's what's decided, shall we go? We shouldn't waste any more time debating. I nod to myself and then mentally prepare for the next moments. The battlefield is only a stone's throw away. Bullets and blades fly in the brutal fight. There are already piles of fallen, both enemy and ally, everywhere. The enemy soldiers here are in great number and Twilight forces are mixed in among them. The loyal troops seem to be at a disadvantage in terms of weapons, numbers, and fighting abilities. The Queen's men are an inferior force, no matter how you look at it. There's no backing down! The fate of Britain rests on the shoulders! Fight! Or not, fire! Fire! The man shouting commands looked like the leader of the platoon. He encourages the intimidated soldiers under his command to somehow keep trying to push forward. Gah! However, a bullet rips through his chest and he falls to the ground in a heap. We need to help him. Lupin grabs my arm as I try to run forward. It's no use. He was killed instantly. No, that's so horrible. Every war is terrible. Victor's expression is strained as he takes out a test tube from his coat. He throws the test tube into a group of enemy soldiers that have been firing non-stop. The test tube breaks at their feet and a cloud of smoke immediately forms, obscuring them from view. What is this? It's a smoke screen, watch out! Van Helsing takes a step forward as the enemies recoil, but a small figure darts into the smoke before he can take another. As soon as the figure disappears into the smoke, I hear the sounds of brutal hand-to-hand fighting. Once the smoke dissipates, I see a crowd of fallen soldiers, and Deli standing there confidently. I'll take over here. You have other things to do. You have the trivial fights to me. Deli turns to us and gives us the smallest smile. Deli!
Go. I help you find your way to help with your poison.
Deli. I love my son! Deli nods. Enemy soldiers begin to appear from all around and are about to surround the loyalist troops. However... Deli runs like a shell fired from a cannon, knocking down any foe he comes into contact with. Is that a kid on our side? Someone that powerful can only be a vampire. He's helping us, so I don't care. All of you, that kid there is doing our fighting out there. We can't let him show us up. The other soldiers call it an agreement. At the same time, we begin to hear the sounds of fighting coming from within St. Paul's. Sounds like another unit's gotten inside. All hope isn't lost yet. Yeah, now's our chance. Let's go. Soldier C, you are good. Yeah, I'm with him. Lupin starts sprinting towards the building. Thank you, Deli! I only catch a glimpse of him before I dash away. Deli, no, the Vampire King Delacroix too, slightly raises his hand in response to my shouted thanks. The battle from within the cathedral is a continuation of the chaos outside. The soldiers who have broken in are going head to head with the enemy forces who have been crammed inside. It looks like most of the enemies here are Twilight soldiers. Their quick movements and precise swords techniques take down the government's soldiers one after another. I figured as much. Finis is nowhere to be seen. Van Helsing sounds annoyed and cautiously looks around him. Of course, the enemies inside have no intention of letting us take our time and begin to attack us as soon as they see us. Oh, Ghost Claw! Lupin, who is at the front, jumps back from the swing by a Twilight soldier just in time. Once Lupin retreats, Van Helsing strolls forward. Naturally, the enemies rush towards him. Look out! And the next instant, there's a loud roar and the enemy soldiers are thrown from the ground where they lie motionless. Look out? For what? Stop wasting time worrying about me and find the way below ground. I've already found it, actually. What? Seriously? The wall to the far west. There's something strange about it. It's most likely a hidden door over there. Lupin points to the far end of the cathedral. Can you tell? Not at all, but if Lupin says so, he's probably right. Let's head that way then. We move forward through the fierce fighting. We duck flying bullets. Van Helsing, Victor, and Saint Germain take down all the enemies that come our way. Oh, we'll never have enough lives for this mess. A Twilight soldier appears in front of Impy, striking him with a sword. But before he hits, Saint Germain pierces his sword through the man's shoulder. Thanks a million, Saint G. I can always count on you. Ah, don't worry. Your protection comes second only to hers. Second? Saint G, do you hate me? The enemies start focusing on us, coming at us from huge waves. Oh, sorry about that, my mom was talking. I think she was saying something to Robin. Having them follow our every move would be annoying. This might be a good time to shut them down. Victor, Count, help me. You got it! Okay. I suppose I can't refuse someone who relies on me. I shall do my best. Lupin, you go ahead and get that hidden door open. Van Helsing, what about me? Don't you need Mr. Impy's help? No, you're in the way already. Rude! snipe back and forth. Lupin lifts me up into his arms. Our team is so reliable. Well, I'm counting on you all. But Lupin, it's fine. This will be less of a hassle. Thank you, Van Helsing. Not a single one of the enemies notices as Lupin starts running. He finds blind spots in the enemy's vision and slips through their lines without any of them catching on. He moves almost like magic. And then, well, we're at the wall of the far side before we know it. Everyone else is still behind us. Lupin, the others aren't here yet. I wouldn't worry about them. They'll catch up on their own. More importantly, Lupin pauses, then hunkers down and starts feeling around the floor. It only takes a few moments. Found it. This is the way to the hidden underground section of the cathedral. As Lupin says this, I see a square hole open right at his feet, with stairs leading downwards. Time for this show to reach its climax. May I have your hand, my lady? Lupin extends his hand to me as he asks. Once the others have all caught up, we start descending the long, dark staircase. St. Paul's Cathedral has always had an underground vault. Saint Germain narrates our trip while our footsteps echo down the stairway. It was originally intended to use as a crypt, and only special heroes who did a great service to Britain were placed here. Are we heading to that crypt right now? No. Gauging from how far down we've gone, we're probably even further below ground than that. Come to think of it, I can no longer hear the sound of fighting from up above. It's very quiet here, and eerie. I thought I'd come to know everything about London, but I wasn't aware that this cathedral had such a facility beneath it. Saint Germain sounds impressed, and our voices echo around us. Ahead of us lies Father's secret. We finally reach the bottom of the long staircase. We discover a dimly lit path that looks exactly the same as the one we walked through in Father's underground laboratory. We walk a few paces down the seemingly endless path. Oh, you're here already. I hadn't expected you to come here so soon. Mickey Mouse! He appears as if melting out of the darkness. None of us can hide the shock or our distress from seeing the immortality step out in front of us. You're immortal, I see. I still can't quite believe it, even though the proof is standing right in front of me. It's only natural for humans like you. You die once and that's it. You don't get a comeback. From the way you say it, I take it that you aren't human then. Do you find it so hard to believe? I have a monster for a sister. It stands to reason that I would be a monster as well. He chuckles to himself, then without losing his composure, makes a motion like he is contemplating something. A civil war is raging above ground, and it seems the nearby nations have already caught on to the troubles within Britain. If this insurrection takes any longer to subdue, it can only lead to war. Are you sure you want to waste your time here? Not to worry. We have a pretty headstrong queen on our side. I'm sure she'll be able to put down this ridiculous rebellion in no time. End the civil war. I see. You don't understand. Huh? Explain yourself. There's no need of further discussion. We'll shut down the root of all this evil right here. Van Helsing speaks coldly to Finis, who still seems to be in a good mood through all this. Finis, are you the leader of the rebel forces? Or, you are the leader of the rebel forces. Are you prepared to meet your fate? Do what you will. You don't have to sugarcoat your words, you know. You resent me, and you want to kill me. Just come right out and say it. Before we can stop him, Van Helsing pulls the trigger. There's a gunshot and a thick spray of blood. Finis's body is thrown back, flying through the air. The corpse rolls away into the darkness. He shot him at close range with an actual buckshot. It's obvious what the result would be. But on the other hand, I have an extremely irrational surety. There's no way Finis would die. For some reason, I firmly believe in this impossibility. I'm certain of it. Then, as if to prove my conviction right. Now, are you satisfied? He appears in front of us again. What? You are completely unharmed. It is quite an extraordinary thing to witness immortality with your own eyes. Saint Germain seems detached as he makes this observation, but Van Helsing calmly levels his gun at Finis again. With another series of shots, Finis crumples pathetically to the floor, but... Finis' laughter fills the room, and he steps out from beyond the darkness yet again. And this time there are two of him. I love how Van Helsing's solution is to just fill Finis with bullets. Very understanding solution, though. What? Even Van Helsing is compelled to lower his gun with wide eyes. Then, following suit, multiple Finises appear from the surrounding darkness. Before we know it, we're surrounded by several exact copies of Finis. Did I fall asleep or something? There's so many of him. If you did, then this is definitely a nightmare. So this is the trick behind your so-called immortality. What a nightmare. In response to Van Helsing's whispered accusation, the central Finis smiles a beautiful yet haunting smile. It's not something to be so shocked about. As I said earlier, my sister is a monster. Naturally, I myself am one too. With all the figures surrounding us, this one Finis seems to be speaking to us as a representative. Although, I will say, I am not a homunculus. Sister and I are fundamentally different, depending on which of us has the horologium. He looks coldly at me as he says this, but I also feel him staring at me with murder in his eyes. He carefully takes his glass-like eyes off me and then begins walking back into the darkness. Father's secret. That's what you came here to find out. Right, sister? Come with me, and be ready to risk your life. He stops only once, and then turns to me with an angelic smile. I'll show you the truth. And together, let us become part of Father. Part of this newly born god. Finis calmly melts away into the darkness, and Van Helsing immediately tries to follow. Wait! But a group of Finises attack us all at once as if to block us. Yeah. Whoa, hey! Airgrass has been cut off as well. If things have come to this. Saint Germain grabs one of the attacking Finises and easily tears him apart, and then quietly looks over at Lupin and me. Please move on, you two. We'll take care of this. Huh? Wait, she needs an escort, then I'll— Impy, keep your eyes on the enemy! There is one of them in front of you! Combat is not one of our Mr. Lupin's fortes, and if we are placing her success above all else, he is a reasonable choice. Any objections? None! I owe you guys! Thank you to Victor Impy, you're useless! We leave them behind as Lupin grabs my hand and begins running at full speed. We continue to push forward into the darkness. The path seems to go on forever, filled with dark, oppressive silence that would make anyone feel alone and uneasy. But right now, Lupin has my hand. Lupin loves me for who I am. That's why, no matter what lies beyond this darkness, I feel like I'll still be alright. Soon, I see a faint light ahead of me. There must be the place to the secret of Father's plan. Code realized must lie. Father's secret, my secret will be uncovered. Then, we follow the faint light into the new space. There's a vast expanse, so large that it's hard to believe that it could be underground. A huge machine about 10 meters in diameter is perched in the center.
I see some strange object all the way through the room. These objects, a countless number of small metallic discs, weave a complex, slow dance along the walls and the floor. Whoa! What is this? Some sort of massive celestial globe? It's all a huge machine, in which each part moves slowly according to some rule. The parts move slowly but steadily, almost like the ever-changing pattern in the sky. Is this Father's secret? Not quite. Venice! This machine is Father himself, and also me, myself. I don't understand, what do you mean? Stop being so cryptic! Weren't you gonna tell her the truth?
Thank you, Lupin.
Ah, that's right. Don't be so impatient. I'll keep my promise. Now I'll show you. This is the reality of me. Venice.
He suddenly pulls out a pistol and points it at... what? His own temple. And then he fires without hesitation. I'm your brother Cardia and your dad at the same time.
What did you...
I can't help but ask, even though I know that I won't get a response. Lupin and I stare down at Finis, who has now become an unmoving corpse, but then... it was just a little performance of sorts. You seem to be none too pleased by it. I hear a voice. Finis? The voice doesn't come from the body on the floor, but it echoes through the entire room.
Don't be so alarmed. I'm right in front of you.
What? Could it be... Finis?
That's right. The Finis you're used to seeing out there is merely a biological terminal, a puppet. This is my true form, the main body. Even if one of my terminals breaks, I simply have to prepare another. There are an infinite number of replacements. That's why I'm immortal. Isn't it funny that Van Helsing was going around so desperately, doing nothing but breaking worthless dolls? The real Finis is a machine. Does it matter if I'm a machine or not? You're simply a doll yourself, you know. And this body is me. But at the same time, it is our respected father as well.
Father? For a second, I don't know what he's saying.
My existence serves basically as a memory device to store Father's mind. Store his mind? Yes. This body contains the mind of the century's greatest genius, Isaac Becker. It is filled with so much knowledge. And this vessel itself is code realize, the key to the creation of a new god.
A new god? I've heard those words from Finis' mouth many times now. But the more he tells me about it, the more surreal it all seems.
There's no way that a man could create God.
I think that anyone would feel the way I do. However, Finis only laughs, saying that this is a given.
Any ordinary person would think that way, but Father can do it. Didn't I tell you? We are cogs in Father's grand machine.
I am his mechanical vessel with an intellect far more advanced than any humans.
And the horologium is a symbol of immortality, perpetual engine of life. What do you think if Father's mind and his spirit can obtain these things? A body that will never decay, and an infinite capability of thought. It could bend the world as we know it to his will. What else could you call something like that besides God? Father is literally trying to become a Deus Ex Machina.
The doll that had been lying on the ground stands up slowly as the voice speaks. It shakes as it cocks its head from one side to another with a blank expression. As Finis had said, it's like a puppet being controlled by strings.
So, come with me, sister, to realize Father's dreams. So that I can be loved by Father, can become one with Father.
Oh. I get chills and take a few steps back.
Lupin, however, takes a step forward, as if protecting me. Thank you very much for the explanation, but she's mine now. I can't just sit here and nod as you take her away. Now, what I have here is a powerful explosive designed by our very own foolish engineer. Answer my questions or else I'll use it to destroy this main body of yours. A bomb, I see. Resorting to rather primitive methods, aren't we? And here I told that you'd never use weapons that would harm others. I don't condone violence, but if it's to protect the woman I love, then I won't even hesitate. Lupin, tell me how to remove her poison. What's so funny? Don't worry, sister's poison will disappear on its own. What? What do you mean? Once the Horologium's purpose has been fulfilled, meaning when it becomes one with Father, the poison will disappear. It will be tragic if his new body melted away immediately. But of course, that would mean that sister will cease to exist as well. You... What's that? Ah, it is time. When the sudden rumblings begin, quickly becoming so strong that we can't remain standing. The ceiling is unable to withstand the shaking and begins to collapse on us. Watch out! I quickly take Lupin's hand and jump away from the huge chunk of falling debris. But the crash I'm expecting doesn't come. I turn back and look. What? Whoa, 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 what's going on? Has the whole world been turned upside down? We're underground, but we can see the sky. Is everything above us was sucked up into the air somewhere? Oh yeah, this is him. Marvelous! This is fantastic! Behold the might of the gravity alleviator! I've heard this shrill voice somewhere before. Hi, Nemo! It's the voice... This voice is far too distinctive to ever be forgotten. I know that voice! Yeah, it's that bonkers scientist we were up against in the airship race. He's right. I try to remember his name. Is that... Nemo? What is he doing here? My amazing mind has arrived to bring Master Isaac's long-awaited wish to fruition. We listen to the voice in complete shock. What? Cardia, run! It's too late. Lupin's shout is just a split second too slow. Steel wires shoot out like living snakes, and in an instant they're wrapped around my body, trapping me. The thick wire begins to cut into my skin. Several wires entangle me and lift me up into the air as I struggle in pain. Cardia! I hear him shout from behind me and I twist around to look at him. Venus, look over! Do you want me to destroy you? Lupin raises his arm to prepare to throw the bomb. Huh, go ahead. But you know that sister will be destroyed along with me. He hesitates for a moment and a different wire whips around across his body. His shout of pain fills the hall. Lupin! He's got that one. Nemo's high-pitched cruel laughter rains down upon us. It's showtime! His voice is completely off kilter. The ground begins to shake once more. The central globe in the middle of the area begins falling into the sky. It's like the sky and earth have switched places. Let's go, sister. Everything's about to begin. The moment when we will be rewarded shall arrive soon. Let me go! Let me go! I'm coming, Cardia! Lupin gets up to start run and jumps with all his might. Lupin flies through the air towards me as if he's somehow gained the momentum in the air. No, he's not flying, he's falling towards me. The force that is pulling the massive globe into the air is probably working on Lupin as well. He's holding onto one of the wires with one of his hand and comes close to me as he possibly can. Grab my hand! He shouts at me forcefully. Lupin! As I reach out as far as my arm will go. But then, not so fast. Lupin is thrown back. Whatever power is causing me and the globe to rise into the sky must no longer be working on him. It's a neat effect to make it swap. I fall straight towards the ground. Ah! I can hear his groaning all the way up here. No! Sister is mine. I won't let anyone else have her. We will become one. We will finally be loved. His voice makes my heart quiver. Lupin! I'll steal you back, Cardia! I promise you, trust me! So have faith and wait for me! Lupin! The globe and I climb higher and higher into the air, and Lupin and I get farther and farther apart. I will! I shout down to him. I will be able to believe in myself because you loved me. I can be human because I love you. I believe in you. I'll wait for you. So promise me. Promise me that we'll meet again. I clench my fist tight as I whimper. What is that? By this time, the fighting on the streets above has ceased. Just as the government troops are about to gain control over the rebels, something suddenly came down from the sky. Something unimaginably huge. Call it a flying battleship wouldn't do it justice. It's a flying fortress, or perhaps even an entire city. Wrought in steel and hovering above the air above London. How is something like that capable of flight? A strange orb floats above the cathedral into the enormous hovering thing. Leonhardt stares up in shock as this takes place before him. More than just Leonhardt. Everyone, enemies and allies alike, are transfixed by the scene before them. The mechanical monster floating into the night sky. The sight is so far above anything that any of the people had ever seen in their entire lives. Is it going away? Suddenly, the floating behemoth drops a glowing blue object. I fall straight down into the plaza in front of the cathedral. Look! Something fell out of it. But be careful. Is it some kind of gem? It's an understandable question. The object that fell into the middle of the plaza looks like some kind of strange device. A beautiful, shining, crystalline light is spilling through the opening in the device. Run! Fall back! Get out of here! We've got to get away from that thing! Just as Leonhardt shouts, jets of gas blast out from the device in all directions. One of the men who was hit by the gas suddenly screams and falls to the ground. What is it? What's going on? Just run! A cloud of gas expands, engulfing the shouting soldiers, who immediately fall to the ground and lie motionless. Leonhardt's mind is on the device, now hidden within the cloud, as he orders his troops to retreat. That gem-like shine. It was unmistakably the Queen of Zicterium that the Queen had shown him before. When it had looked like the Loyalist troops were about to subdue the rebels, they were beaten by the monster in the sky. Shortly thereafter, Nemo's crowing from the massive floating machine tells them everything. The airborne fortress is named the Nautilus. The ship would pull Britain, and eventually all of the world, into war, and would continue to fuel those flames for all time. And the ship has become the seat of God for Finis and the rebels, and the throne of the devil to Leonhardt and the others. Quite the intense line. Chapter 12. Code Realize. Also, whenever you want to break, just let me know. I can hear birds chirping. They sing gently of peace from far beyond the window. Cardia. Wake up, Cardia. Someone gently shakes me and I open my eyes. I'm good, okay. I see a blurry shape standing near me. My mind is still hazy, and I'm unable to discern who this person is. I can't tell, but I know this person is someone important, someone I care deeply for. I let this person wake me as if nothing is out of the ordinary. Come on, wake up. Always sleeping late. You should try to be more like Venice. Sorry, but isn't it impolite to enter a ladies' room uninvited? Tell me that once again when you start acting like a lady. Fine. I sit up annoyed. Wake up and get dressed. I'll be waiting for you in the dining room. Or in the dining hall. The person leaves and I put my arms to the sleeves of my clothes, still feeling drowsy. I'm not wearing gloves, and the clothing I wear doesn't look or feel anything special. Even so, the things I touch don't melt. But for some reason, all of this feels completely natural. This is me, but not me. I feel like I'm reliving memories of some other person. I leave the room and head for the hall. Mommy, why can't I eat yet? How many times have you asked that? You know we don't eat until we're all here and we've all said our prayers, alright? Aww, when is sister gonna get here? I hear voices. Honey, are you sure you woke her up? Did you give her a proper scolding for sleeping in? Ah, yes, dear. Right, proper scolding. Dear, you need to be tough around the kids. Why don't we just go ahead and start without her? My brother, always trying to sound like a grown-up, and my mother, kind yet firm. And then there's father, who seems a little bit timid. I smile and open up the door to the dining hall. Ugh, finally! You're late, sister. Good morning, Cardia. Good morning. Next time, be sure to get up and dress in time for breakfast. You hear? I smile and nod. I will. Good morning. The me in the stream is most definitely myself, but it also feels like a complete stranger. And then, although I smile towards them all, tears stream down my cheeks. I can hear the clock ticking. That's when I finally remember everything that's transpired, as well as the situation I find myself in. I was taken inside the Nautilus and immediately restrained by the Twilight soldiers who had been waiting for me within. Then they attached a strange device to the horologium. And a moment later, I felt a body-splitting pain and screamed. After a while, I fainted. I opened my eyes to try and make sense of it all. For a moment, I feel like I'm still in the crypt beneath the St. Paul's Cathedral. The large celestial globe, Finis, the main body, is right in front of me. I can't move. It seems that my feet have been tied to the seat I've been placed in. Then I noticed the clothing I'm wearing had been changed. This outfit! They're the clothes I wore when I used to be in Wales. Ah, are you awake? I prepared this for you. I look up at a sudden voice and see Finis looking up in joy. They're exactly the same as what Father made for you. Your original was apparently not a morning person, so it seemed Father was always scolding you. My brother, the monster, laughs cheerfully. But just beneath his smile lies an insatiable madness. What are you gonna do to me? And what was that device? The one you attached to the horologium when I got here? Device? Oh, that. It was just an emergency supply of sorts. Supply? Yes, a supply. This ship, the Nautilus, operates using a machine called the gravity alleviator. Finis begins to answer my questions with a boastful look. It's thanks to that device that we were able to collect my main body. It is very inefficient. Even if we had a tremendous amount of fuel ready, we would only be able to run the device for a moment. This ship was just about to crash because of the strain it had undergone. His voice was filled with joy, as if poking fun at the whole situation. That's why we needed your horologium. Its massive energy was needed to supply this ship. I glanced down at my chest. It doesn't look any different, and the supply device from earlier is no longer attached. I can't believe the horologium is what's keeping this airshift aloft. You can't. But it's true. The perpetual source of infinite energy, the force that transcends all. That is the horologium. His expression is one of elation, as if he is unable to contain his glee at speaking how clever his own father is. He then produces something from his pocket, a pendant shining red. That's right, the same pendant that Finis showed me is actually showed me in that underground facility. Using your body as catalyst, the horologium is already nearly complete. This, sister, is the final component. His smile gives me a bad feeling. Sister, history will change dramatically from this moment on. With father's immense power. Stay away! My words are sharp yet firm, but even though I sound confident, I'm afraid. What events might this pendant put into motion? I already have an idea. I'm afraid I can't. Finis smiles gently and then tears away my shirt from my chest. Ask first! I see the horologium on my chest glowing slightly and blinking rhythmically as if it has a pulse. He then slowly brings the pendant closer to it. The pendant begins to emit a high-pitched tone like a ringing in my ears. At the same time, my chest begins to heat up, becoming burning hot. The burning pain is so horrible that I stop myself from screaming. The pendant glows bright red, and the horologium pulses start to synchronize with those of the pendant. The more the horologium pulses, the more I feel a strange sensation like my body is beginning to reassemble from within. The heat from the horologium spreads through my body. I feel like I'm melting, just as I'm about to pass out from the pain. Without warning, the pendant in Finis's hand shatters. When that happens, the intense heat and pain I've been feeling vanishes. I glare at Finis, breathing unevenly, yet he looks down at me dispassionately. Now, all the preparations have been completed. All we have to do at this point is wait. Sister, once the horologium has been extracted from your body, my job here is done. Our family will finally be reunited. That's not what I want. You will want it eventually, because we're monsters after all. His beautiful smile suddenly twists into a rictus of agony. He tears at his throat and violently twists his neck from side to side. But all the while, he still looks like he's smiling. Look, sister. That is the moment of transformation. Your energy has caused Father to stir. Finis? Father truly is an amazing man. Everything is exactly as he imagined. Finis topples to his knees and raises his face towards the heavens. He's got it! Father! 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 He falls silent. And yet, the giant globe, his main body emits subtle light. The entire machine begins to make a quiet sound. At the same time, I forgot this was a CG. Finis, who had been completely motionless, slowly rises to his feet. His eyes, like two clear glass beads, stare intently at me. He's so cold and silent. Who are you? Something has changed in him. I understand intuitively that this person standing in front of me is no longer Finis. Who are you? My voice trembles. My dear daughter, it's been so long. The voice coming out of Finis's mouth sounds like him, yet it isn't. I'm so happy to see you. I truly am. He gently touches my cheek. Instantly, his hand begins to dissolve. The sound and smoke dissipate into the air around us. However, he doesn't flinch. Even as his fingertips melt, he slides his hand over the horologium. Stop! It's a beautiful light. Thank you, Cardia. My long, cherished wish has finally come true. His voice unmistakably finishes, and yet every one of his words stirs memories that lie deep inside me. Cardia, my beloved daughter, you will lead the people from God's cradle to the expansive world of knowledge. Cardia, it all begins with you. I love you so much, my dear daughter. Are you father? Yes, that's right. I am Isaac Beckford. I created both you and Finis in order to execute Code Realize. I will become this world's shepherd. Father's voice is quiet, filled with something like sadness. Why? I look up at Father and ask him in a raspy voice, why would you do something like this? What do you mean by why? His blank gaze triggers anger within me. After all he's done, how can he show so little emotion? I've seen so much death. London is in complete turmoil right at this moment. Many people died in battle. Others were engulfed in flames, leaving nothing behind but charred corpses. I've seen so many gruesome sights. I don't know anything about an eternal war guiding humanity. But this, it can't be right. Father watches me in silence. A world war. Guiding people to this future by killing so many. There's no way this could be possible. This could possibly be anything but evil. It's a terrible course of action that'll only lead to misfortune, creating great sadness and suffering. No matter how lofty his goals are, how could he go through causing so much tragedy for so many without hesitation? I assail him with all my doubts and questions about his plan. Eventually, I reach a certain question that had been lying in the depths of my mind. It's something that I myself hadn't even realized had been there for a long, long time. A thought that perhaps emerged when I first found out what I am. Finis said that you loved me, Father. And I do. Father's response is soft. If you love me, then why did you create me? A pathetic doll that can only pretend to be human? Why? Why did you create me? If you love me, why? Just use me as a catalyst to create the horologium. How could you create a monster like me who can't even touch another person? My voice trembles. I can't touch anyone. I can't even feel another person. I just wanted to be normal. How could you do this? He gives me nothing but silence in return. The quiet seems to go on forever. The Nautilus provides a background sound, a low, heavy rumble. I simply wait for Father to answer. I see. I understand now. However, unfortunately, Cardia, you misunderstand. I do truly love Cardia. But to be more specific, you aren't her. What? I love the image of my daughter, which had been recreated in you, a monster. What are you talking about? You were created based on my daughter's own life. In other words, you are something akin to her genes. All that was left of her living cells after the house burned down. The house burned down? I realized that I have a very distant picture of that home in my memory. It's most likely a memory from Cardia, whose body my own was based on. Your appearance, voice, and physical mannerisms, I see traces of her in them. He turns kind and affectionate eyes towards me. However, I see that it's not really me he's seeing. Even though these things are merely shadows, your body is unmistakably my daughter's. I cannot contain the joy I feel seeing you before me. His words burned me inside. I wasn't brought to this world because someone wanted me. Just like Finis, I'm a doll that had been created as a tool to further a father's plans. That's all my very existence had ever been. We've run out of time. Your horologium is still not yet complete, and I can only remain awake for a short time. I will see you again. It was only for a brief moment, but I'm glad I was able to see you again. And with this, he slowly closes his eyes. The bluish-white light that had been surrounding him fades. As it fades, Finis once again quietly opens his eyes. His laugh sounds partly mad and partly sad. Ah, I sense that Finis is back. Father, so soon, your dream to become a reality so soon. His expression almost looks like ecstasy. Starting an eternal war and continue the loss of life that has already taken so many. How can he look so happy when faced with the prospect of such tragedy? Why? I can't help but ask. I can't bring myself to comprehend the way the way her or Isaac think. There's a typo, found one. Why, Finis? Father, Isaac is wrong no matter how you look at it. If his plan becomes a reality, so many innocent people are going to die. Not just me, you too. We'll both disappear from this world. Finis cocks his head to the one side, looking genuinely confused. So what if we do? There's nothing about it that would trouble us. Once we accomplish this, Father will surely love us. Isn't that enough? From my own perspective, I don't see why you... He starts to say something, then frowns. I could tell from where I sit that he's gradually becoming agitated. Ah, I see. You're taking his love for granted. You're a monster! Finis, you're a little angry, your words are changing here, buddy. You're a monster, and yet you think that you would have the heart to someone would have the heart to love you. That typo just threw me off. Even though that is impossible. Monster! He comes at me in a rage and forcefully grabs me by the hair with his left hand. Ouch! I twist in pain and he continues to shout, his words pouring forth endlessly. You'll probably never understand since Father already loved you. He never loved me. He despised me, hated me, and you'll never comprehend how that feels. I do know how that feels. He doesn't truly love me. He loves his daughter. I'm just based on her. Shut up! So what if it's only a false love? At least you were loved. What's the problem with that? You don't know what it's been like for me. He never even once smiled in my direction. Finis. His quaking voice saddens me more than it frightens me. It's so unfair. Why you? When he doesn't love me at all. His anger gradually subsides from his voice, leaving only sadness. A pitch black sadness, like a vast emptiness. I realize something now. Here it is! Is the typo here? The person who is most aware of their own status as a monster and aware of being a doll. The person who is also the saddest and most alone. It's not me! The other half of Isaac's cursed children who was created just as I was, but never looked upon with love. It's been damn it, they changed it! It said it Finis before! Damn it! They fixed the typo! I was so looking forward to it! Damn it! I can't help but feel sorry for Finis because he's doing all this just for love. I wanted the typo, they took it! No, screw it, it's Finis! If only you didn't exist. He grabs me by the throat, his fingers digging into my flesh through the fabric of my shirt. I'm unable to resist at all.
All I can do is slowly drift into the darkness. I can't believe they fixed my favorite typo. I'm so mad. The silence is thick, making the ticking of the clock seem unnaturally loud. We're currently all gathered in the deserted factory, which is being used as the base for the provisional government. Just shove everyone in the scene. Myself, Van Helsing, Victor, Impey, Saint Germain, and Delacroix too. Sad. Sholmes, Victoria, and Leonhardt. And all the other government and military staff. The primary members who survived the earlier battle have all gathered here.
Let's go over the current state of affairs.
Victoria's expression is stern as she says this.
The mission to take back control of St. Paul's Cathedral was a success. We put down most of the rebelling forces left in London, and those that remain won't pose a problem.
Oh, I was hoping it was No, he doesn't die and Lupin's are out.
And yet, we are still unable to return to the palace. That behemoth glaring down at all of us from the sky makes Buckingham Palace too big a target to risk going back there.
Would it be possible for us to use the turrets along with the outer wall to shoot it down? One of the military men poses a question.
It's too high in the air, and it's difficult to tell if fire will prove to have any effect at all.
But how can such a large craft even stay aloft? It doesn't look like something like a few gas bags can manage.
We have an expert who can speak for that, Mr. Impey Barbicane.
At Victoria's bidding, Impey stands up. He seems to have a much more serious look on his face than usual. The Nautilus flies due to the effects of a special device called the gravity alleviator. Impey goes to provide a simple explanation on how it works. Gravity alleviator? It's the very thing Impey had been looking for. How ironic that this is how he finally finds it after so much searching. Nobody on Earth is a bigger advocate for peace than Impey, and yet the device he created is about to be used to start a war. He won't stand for this. According to Impey, we should be able to sneak into the Nautilus and disable the device. The most effective course of action would be to rid the Nautilus of its buoyancy and cause it to crash. There is something I'd like to add regarding the Nautilus. Victor is next to speak up. The poison gas weapon that the Nautilus deployed earlier. That gas is most likely the deuterium, which was the secret weapon used during the Vampire War. Those in attendance break out into a murmur. It was produced in large quantities during the war, but then disappeared. Perhaps Venice had been hiding it all along. Delacroix too, who had already been warned in advance by Victor, still frowns, clearly displeased. There is no question that allowing the Nautilus to roam free will cause many more to become victims for that weapon. Or of that weapon. Victoria nods empathetically.
Thank you for the explanation. I'll keep that in mind, Dr. Frankenstein.
The Queen sighs quietly.
Let us review Isaac's and Finis's plan once more.
Oh, so sweet of Victor to tell Deli beforehand. Yeah, Victor's a very sweet boy. Victoria turns her steely eyes towards me. I stand up, thinking it's appropriate that I be the one who explained this, since I was the one who confronted Finis directly. All eyes are on me. Code Realize is what Finis said, the name of the plan that Isaac put together. It's a plot to start a war that will involve every nation in the world and will last for an eternity. Apparently, there will be an absolute power controlling the evils of society, leading humanity into this endless war. The goal of this constant war is to spur the advancement of civilization through the invention of better technology. This will eventually elevate humanity's society to the level which is currently forbidden all but God. That's what they're after.
Know how many times I hear it. It sounds like such an abstract, long-reaching, and ambiguous plan.
I suppose.
The mind of a genius can never truly be understood.
She sighs and continues.
However, we cannot allow Britain to lose to some insane plot.
Victoria announced an all-out attack to be made in 5 days' time, and orders all forces to gather to face the Nautilus. Everyone in the room has a dark look on their face. The heavy toll in the battle at St. Paul's Cathedral, that coupled with the appearance of the Nautilus and the damage done by the use of Zicterium.
It's fair to say that everyone is worn out by the recent events, and our outlook isn't too optimistic. That goes even for my friends, and I myself probably have a dark expression on my face. Once the situation meeting has been called to an end, the military and government personnel all leave to start their tasks. Victoria's urge to fight on to the bitter end is driving all of them. And as for me, I stay behind alone in the abandoned factory, looking absent-mindedly at the filthy ceiling. How is she? Is she waiting for me in belief that I'll come for her? Or... I click my tongue as an unwelcome image comes to mind. Cardia was taken away because of my failure. What could she be going through, even now as I sit here? Thinking this only makes me more anxious. That's why I'm going to save Cardia. I can't wait 5 days. I return to Saint Germain's mansion and enter Impy's engineering studio. That's where I find what I'm looking for. The ornithopter. I give it a quick once-over. Always wanted to be prepared, and Impy made sure it was ready to take off at any time. I hesitate. What are my chances of succeeding if I go alone? What are the chances that I'll get even close to the Nautilus? The logical part of me tells me not to do it. This isn't brave, it's reckless, suicidal. My hands ball into fists. I can almost hear the rain in the back of my mind. For some reason, the image of my teacher's beaten, lifeless body comes to mind. It's not like I wanted to punish him for what he did. I didn't want things to end that way. I just wanted him to go back to how he was, for things to return to the way they used to be. And yet... That's right. I made the wrong choice when it really mattered, and I lost someone I truly respected. I might as well have killed him myself. I don't want to ever go through that again. I'm going to... And where do you think you're going with that? I hear a voice behind me. I turn around and find Van Helsing leaning against the wall, watching me coldly. Why is he here? Did he follow me? Sorry, but I sensed something was off. I followed you here. The question must have been plain on my face, and he answers it casually. For someone normally as paranoid as you not to notice me, so obviously tailing you, you must have been pretty deep in thought, I take it. Van Helsing turns his gaze to the ornithopter. Where are you planning to go alone? I nod slightly. Cardia. She's in danger. I don't have time to wait for the military. Venice's objective is her horologium. If he takes it away from her, she'll... What's so amusing? What I find amusing is that you're so flustered that you're going on your own, going to your own death. That's so unlike you that I had to laugh. I didn't have any witty response to that, so I said nothing. You're nothing without your rationality. Think it through again. He's right. But I can't just give up. What's the rush? Don't thieves need the patience to wait for an opportunity to present itself before they strike? The woman I love is in danger. She could be dead. How could I not be in a rush? I'm shouting despite myself. Oh, thank you, DualSense controller. This is why I had another one charging. Just a second. Just a sec. Let me grab it. Van Helsing, the right man for a wake-up call. He really is. I genuinely like Lupin and Van Helsing's kind of friendly relationship dynamic. It's very cute in the, I only did Van's route in the first Van disc. And they're still very kind and nice to each other. They pick on each other, but it's very friendly. They have a very nice dynamic. I see Cardia's face again when we spoke right before the battle at St. Paul's. She said that she became human. Her smile when she said this is still burned into my heart.
She was finally able to smile from the bottom of her heart. Her happiness is just beginning. I'll do what I have to protect that smile. If I don't go, who will? Van Helsing just stares at me, and the empty silence compels me to keep talking. The British troops are exhausted from all the fighting they've been doing. Victoria gave them 5 days, but who knows how long it may take to put together a force that could fight the behemoth. There's no time to waste. I'd rather die than lose her. Don't try and stop me, Van Helsing. Stop you? Who said anything about stopping you? I'm saying you'll need as much manpower as possible to go up against that monster. For a moment, I don't grasp his meaning and I frown. But the manpower he speaks of... Are you saying... Van Helsing smiles, just a bit. I'm not a fan of those arrogant fools up there. Take me with you. We'll bring down that thing before they know it. I'm coming too, obviously. I've been searching for that thing all this time, and I aim to keep my promise I made. We can't let them use the sectarium however they please either. My eyes grow wide as I see Impy and Victor appear. You guys, how? You looked like you had a lot weighing on you at the meeting, and Impy and I figured that you'd be here. Impy shrugs to confirm Victor's reasoning. So that pretty much read my mind. I'm thankful for my friends, but at the same time I feel a bit pathetic. So, we have ourselves a little strike force here. But how are we going to get into the Nautilus? There's no way we'd all fit on the Anthropoder. As we're discussing this. Well, well, so you've gone ahead and started the discussion without me. Don't you think you're all being a little cold? Oh, please, Lupin, don't act all masculine. Looks like the gang's all here. Just missing Cece. Saint Germain smiles elegantly, as usual, and then looks straight at me. I have a suggestion. Most likely, it is the one way we could all save her. We notice 2 figures behind Saint Germain. Yeah, this is the first time you guys met, though. One is the heavily armed woman, the other is an elderly woman in a wheelchair. Neither of them seem very suited for a place like this. I'll lend you a hand, Mr. Gentleman Thief. The elderly woman smiles as she says this. We all gather in the abandoned factory once more. My friends, as well as the woman, who Saint Germain introduces as Omnibus and Guinevere. Victoria can't hide her surprise at the meeting of newcomers. So you two are from Idea. Your organization is only mentioned in lore passed down from the royal family. A secret organization controlling history. Yes, it's as you say. And the fact that you've come out of the shadow now means, the fact that we've come out of the shadows now should be an indication of how great a crisis humanity is facing now. We of Idea desire destruction of Isaac Beckford and all of his creations. There's no time for making grand speeches. What's the plan you have to go against the Nautilus? The destruction of all his creations. That's a little unsettling, but I'd like to hear them out before dealing with that. You're right, Saint Germain. Can I leave the rest to you? The Count nods and steps forward. Cardia. She is now in the hands of Finis. Unfortunately, we cannot wait 5 days. Isaac's pawns are all on board. If we give him that much time, it'll be too late. Still, it's the reality we face if we want to give the military a chance to fight. What does Idea want me to do? Can I also say that Guinevere's armor is so big it's almost funny? No, it's extremely funny. Please gather as much of your forces as you can by tomorrow night. Tomorrow? That's impossible! We won't be able to put up a resistance with whatever we're able to put together that quickly! You will, if Idea cooperates. Idea's apostles have cast a spell to create an enormous magical barrier that can protect you all. That should protect your airships from attack by the Nautilus. Magic? Ridiculous! She could almost be a Dark Souls boss. I mean, there probably is a Dark Souls boss called Guinevere. Magic does sound ridiculous, doesn't it? Yet it exists. Yeah, this is something I didn't like about Lupin's route, is it's like we had all this science stuff and now here's magic! In the long history of mankind, there have always been things going on outside your understanding. You just haven't seen them. After this exchange, Saint Germain continues. Then, a fleet of airships will act as a diversion. Saint Germain looks over at me. While Lupin and the others enter the Nautilus covertly, they will bring down the ship before Isaac can be revived. Lupin, can you do it? I smile in response. Who do you think I am? I'm nothing. Nothing is impossible for this gentleman thief. We're counting on you. Victoria, your cooperation is crucial to this battle. Will you fight with us? So you're telling me that a secret society that runs the world will protect us with magic if we risk our lives? Victoria covers her mouth, looking like she can barely keep herself from bursting into laughter. Let's talk more action, boys, my sip. It's like a fairy tale. Magic in this age of science and discovery. How preposterous. Victoria laughed for some time. She then looks at Omnibus with a serious expression. Very well. I'm in. I was always quite fond of fairy tales, you know. So we have established a cooperative agreement here. Yes, I have no objections. And I'm able to come up with any bright ideas to crush the Nautilus other than to rely on a fairy tale. Victoria, I love you. Hey now, don't forget about the most important thing. Don't look over at me. Rescuing my precious princess. This is non-negotiable. I take a good long look at Omnibus. When you said you would destroy everything Isaac created, you meant her too, didn't you? I see that wasn't lost on you. The old woman closes her eyes for some time, then she slowly opens them and turns them to me. Alright. If we are able to accomplish everything, we promise not to touch her. Flip would be like, let me marry my wife. Are you sure? According to my predictions, the fall of mankind has already been determined by this point. If this prediction is proven wrong, what use is there for any of my other prophecies about the rest of the future? Omnibus says this with a smile. She seems serious. Then, I'm ready for this. Alright, I'm going to board the Nautilus and see it to its destruction. Your Highness, Omnibus, are you fine with that? I have no objections. From what I saw of your skills when you rescued me from the palace, I can think of no one more suited. Alright then, it's decided. Let's get ready. Sounds good! Looks like this is gonna be the decisive battle. Lupin, I will come along with you as well. I will do my best to save her. I nod and exhale. I can always count on my friends. I'd be lying if I wasn't that anxious anymore. But at least now we can stand a better chance of rescuing her. That's enough for me at the moment. Let's go. It's our final battle. Everyone nods, each with their own sense of determination. Hang in there, Cardia. I mutter under my breath, gripping my fist tightly. Go, Lupin, rescue your future wife. Not even half a day later, preparations for tomorrow evening have officially begun. Some of the rebel fighters turned coats, and many civilians joined voluntarily. The government's forces are even greater in number now that they were back before the attack on St. Paul's. However, both weapon and soldiers are beyond exhaustion, it will be quite difficult to turn things around. In addition, with the Nautilus being a floating fortress, there's a need to get airborne if there's going to be a fight at all. Victoria takes measures to cover these problems. She promises a huge sum of money and a knighthood to anyone who would join the operation to destroy the Nautilus. She makes this proclamation in several newspapers, and word spreads quickly across the entire nation. The nobility, those seeking honor, sky pirates, criminals, and those who care about the reward money, those dazzled by greed arrive in droves, flying to London in airships. Speaking to people as immediate desires seemed to be a much more effective way to rally people than touting justice. But once they've come, Victoria uses her eloquence to transform all who have gathered into her patriots. I can't help but acknowledge her abilities as Queen of Britain, who had the experience of butting heads against the world. And then there were others, those who were nervous about the future of London, those who had lost someone they care about in the fires that blazed across the country.
The arena previously used to house the Black Gathering had been set up as an aerodrome and is overflowing with airships. Meanwhile, in the suburbs of London, Idea's magical force field is about to be complete. Royal alchemists and members of the Royal Society have been called upon for this task. Surprisingly, many within the alchemic and scientific communities already have a deep knowledge of magic, and the apostles have been selecting those with the aptitude for it to help them. Who would have thought that we would be flying into battle against a massive floating fortress protected by wizards? I can understand why Victoria would laugh. It all sounds so impossible in this supposed age of rational thinking. Saint Germain is a member of IDEA and is making preparations with Victoria's help. Or Victor's help. Van Helsing is training civilian citizens how to handle weapons, and MP's modifying airships to prepare for entering the Nautilus. I'm in the headquarters, re-examining and revisiting my plan as necessary. I would have thought that the Nautilus would take its time to attack, but it remains silent above the city. According to Omnibus, it's probably going to remain there until Isaac has been fully resurrected. That works in our favor. Everyone in London right now is desperately preparing for battle. Honestly, yeah, they could have introduced magic in some way, though as well. The idea of the Horlo game itself sounds like magic. Not just the military and people from the government. Everyone here, for whatever reason, we're all aware that this battle will be crucial. Time passes quickly. Before I know it, an entire day has gone by. Our final attack will be taking place in just a few hours' time. There is little time before the mission. I'm taking a walk through the residential neighborhood to collect my thoughts. I wonder if she's looking at the same sunset from above the clouds. Or, this is no time for weakness. I mutter to myself. She's fine. It's alright. It's alright. Suddenly, a vision of that rainy day flickers in my head, as if to intensify my moments of weakness. Damn it, what is this? Why do I keep going back to these horrible memories at a time like this? I slam my fist against the wall, trying to drive the memory out of me. You seem upset. I didn't notice Van Helsing behind me until just now. I never see him coming as usual. What? You're supposed to be training people how to fight, aren't you? Do you have time to be following me around? I'm risking my life to carry out your decision. Makes me feel a bit easy to see you like this. Don't worry, who do you think I am? I'm the one and only Arsene Lupin. You're doing a bad job of hiding your inner conflict. It's unlike you. He cuts me off. I know I'm not at the top of my game like I usually am. I really enjoy this point of view of Lupin. Very refreshing. It is! It's a very nice one. I've stolen anything and everything. One and only Arsene Lupin. I've never flinched, no matter how rare or expensive the prize I've stolen. I've flinched secrets that would ruin nations. I've always had nothing but absolute confidence in my abilities and judgment. But look at me now. I'm scared. At the time, it's so important to be clear-headed. So pitiful. What's there to feel pitiful about? His words are so straightforward. It seems so different from his usual circumspect demeanor that I can't help but stare at him wide-eyed. I suppose that girl is more important to you than any expensive gem or information that could ruin a nation. Isn't that what it comes down to? To me, she is... To be honest, I'm confused myself. I don't know what to do. When I was a boy, I was so desperate to survive. When I was in training, I was desperate to learn how to be a thief. When I was betrayed, I was desperate to carry out my own version of justice. I've always been desperate for something. I won't say that I've never been in love. I remember Cardia's smile. Her face when she was happy. When she happily told me that she knew she was a real person. But she and I are probably similar in that neither of us was ever fully human. Oh, you weren't a human up until now. How very bizarre. You understand what I mean? I'm a little surprised. No, I don't have a clue what you're going on about. I'm just trying to keep the conversation going. I love you, man. Well, that ruined the moment. Hey, Van Helsing. Do you think she's alright? How should I know? If you want an answer to that, search within yourself. I do as he suggests. Surprisingly, I do find the answer. Of course she's fine. Don't you dare try and tell me otherwise. Huh, I agree. I laugh along with him. What? When we first met, I never thought the day would come when you'd be consoling me. I didn't come here to make you feel better. True, I have started to feel that it's not so bad to have comrades. I smile and nod to him. There's still some time before nightfall. Let's rest until it's showtime. I love their dynamic. I start walking and Van Helsing follows behind. For no reason in particular, I begin to wonder what Van Helsing thinks about Cardia. Van Helsing probably would have helped me rescue Cardia regardless whether Finis was involved or not. I'm certain of that. Even when Cardia disappeared, he did earnestly search for her. So, where do his motives lie? Best bros. Hey, Van Helsing. What is it now? Nothing, never mind. I ended up not asking. It's probably pointless to ask. That night, armed airships gather around the landing pad, where everyone is preparing for the operation to begin. There's a great many people here, and each one has his or her own reasons to fight. Lupin realized Van Helsing loves Cardia too, and is like, I can't deal with this. I'm not doing that. The siren goes off to signify the start of the mission. Those who were aboard airships had been busy with preparations, but they had stopped to watch the airships take off. He's like, shoot, Van Helsing might like her too. I can't live with that information. Don't talk to me. You brave men who are about to depart for the battle, can you hear me? Victoria's voice is delivered through each of the airships through a communicator. Each and every one of you now shoulders the hopes of the world. I am not going to lie to you. Not everyone will be making it back alive. Some of the listeners go over their flight procedures while they pay attention to her speech. I have said this before. Looking solely at the difference in our forces, we face certain defeat. But despite that, you are all going up into the air. I praise your bravery from the bottom of my heart. Some of the listeners are praying. Others are looking at pictures of their loved ones they have lost. I have one confession to make. Until recently, I have been considering doing something similar to Isaac's plan, albeit for different reasons. The first airships slowly rise into the sky. I was thinking that if a large-scale war were to take place now, Britain would have a greater chance of survival. But seeing what the Nautilus has done, and what it is about to do, seeing these things has shown me that I was mistaken. The second airship follows, and then a third. Soon clusters of airships begin lifting up into the air. With the moon behind them, the people below see them as silhouettes in the sky. There is no knowing what future will come if the of the destruction flames. I have finally come to realize that there is no point in repeating a history of slaughter. The airships are all rising up now. I promise you, justice is what drives us to this battle. Those of you who have stepped up to this challenge are unmistakably heroes. The flock of airships rise higher into the moonlight. Once they reach a certain altitude, they begin to give off a faint glow. It seems like they're now under the power of Idea's magic. They almost look like a new galaxy of stars. One of the people on the ground murmurs that it's a beautiful sight. Please, bring us victory. This is far too quiet to be the start of a battle that would decide the fate of the world. We cannot allow an eternal war to exist. And please be safe. Her voice coming through the communicators is not one to inspire courage, but it is something her speech sparks fire in the audience. It is, in fact, an appropriate start to the battle, that a battle that would decide the world's future. We're waiting in the forest, watching the flotilla rise up. The losses will be great. Victor murmurs to himself, his gaze still locked on those ascending airships. Idea's protective magic is in effect. They won't fall so easily, but you don't know what would happen when that fortress decides to attack. Is that it? Everyone's doing their best. We'll bring down the Nautilus no matter what. And save her. I nod slightly along with MP's words. We should get going. We need to time this right. We're about to follow Saint Germain's suggestion to board our own ship when 2 figures emerge from the brush. Sholmes and Deli, what are you doing here all the way out here? Are you here to see us off? We're not saying goodbye. It's quite the opposite of that, in fact, actually. I have my own business with the Nautilus as well. I'd like to come along with you. Is that so? Well, hurry up and get on then. 1 or 2 more people will make a difference. That's not quite the response I was expecting. I thought you would be against the idea. No! I can see it in your eyes. You have an unarguable logic and determination. I can't say no to someone like that. Shum smiles faintly. Ah, you're right, Lupin. I have a score to settle. Aboard that ship. Shum's smile widens and he points to his chin up towards the airship. I can't, Lupin, I so know! I appreciate it. I owe you one. Shums makes his way to the airship. I'm here to say goodbye. I nod at the little king, who sounds a bit disappointed. Hey, Van Helsing, you have a visitor! I yell towards the airship. Whoa, wait, I'm not here to see him! No, you're right. We can wait a while. You two can say what you need to say. Delacroix too grabs my sleeve as I turn to walk away. She's a kind girl. She must not die like this. Please, get her back. I know. And also, everyone of you needs to make it back alive as well. I give him a casual wave and make my way to the airship. I give Van Helsing a pat on the shoulder as he passes me on his way out. I enter it myself and be standing there just inside. Please get Mom back! That's pretty much what it was. Hey, Lupin, I upgraded her as much as I could, but like I said, the engines... He told me about it earlier, but this airship's engine is very delicate, so MP needs to handle it personally. Therefore, I'll be piloting it this time around. I'm leaving the engine room in your hands, partner. Right, I've got this. We briefly shake hands and then MP heads for the engine room. I spend a while on that checking on the various instruments in the control room when Van Helsing comes back inside. Here's our lookout. We were about to take off without you. You try that and I'll shoot you down in an instant. God, do something useful. Go do something useful. You never change, do you? Right back at you. What did our cute little vampire boy have to say? It was about his revenge. He just told me that I had to live. Despite his calm delivery, I get the feeling that he's feeling a bit down. I suppose it's sometimes tougher being forgiven than it is to go on being hated. I suppose so. I don't know what happened in your past, but I know you can settle that on your own. I know. Van Helsing's words make me smile. I take a slight breath and steady my thoughts, and then focus and open the lid to the voice tube. Can everyone hear me? I'm not going to bore you with a speech. Let's go and get our princess back. Finally! Shall we go and overturn fate? Yeah, let's bring an end to this! Let's get going already. I crack a slight smile at the responses. I'm on it. I manipulate the controls and cut the rope that's been securing the airship to the ground. The airship slowly rises, throwing me a bit off balance. When we get it to a particular altitude, the ship begins to glow faintly. Looks like Idea's magic is working on our ship now. The ship continues to drift higher into the night sky. We approach a fierce aerial battle raging on in the skies above. Only a few minutes later, our ship charges straight into the airship space around the Nautilus, which has become a battlefield. Starboard hit! Starboard hit! Our ship won't last much longer! Damn it! Damn it! We're not going down! Requesting assistance for the Nautilus's Western Siege Group. We won't last much longer. How the hell are we gonna take that monster down? The voices filled over the communicator are filled with fear and panic. Every time an airship is hit in the gas bag, it explodes and fills the night with flames for a moment. Wisps of flame tear through the sky, and the smoke from the explosions cloud the sky. Damn, I can't bear to listen to this. Seems I accidentally left the voice tube open. There's no time in whining, focus on your piloting. If we failed because we weren't paying attention, it would be pathetic. I know. Ahead port, look out. Got it! I spin the steering wheel to the right as far as it will go. The ship lurches and quickly swerves to starboard. The ship roars and shakes so violently that I worry it might tear itself apart. Damn it! Damage reports! The engine's fine! Gas bag's fine! It seems we've lost some exterior components, but the damage is superficial. I heave a deep breath. I check the instruments, and then think for a moment and make a decision. Alright, taking baby steps is only going to make us an easy target. We're going to charge on in. Got it! It's time to reveal our secret weapon then. Everybody hang on! Before MP finishes talking, the entire airship howls. We begin to accelerate with such force that I'm almost thrown back. What was that, Impy? What did you do to the airship? I told you, I upgraded it. It's ready for battle. It's difficult to keep the ship level at this incredible speed. One wrong move and we'll fly off in a completely different direction. God, you idiots! You need to go easy on these modifications! Ugh, this isn't good. The Nautilus has seen us. It's going to attack. Turn. Easier said than done! I try and figure out the best option for us. It's a bit risky, but this is going to be the only way. Damn it! We're gonna plow head first into the Nautilus. Everybody hang on so you don't get thrown off! Are you serious? Ah, I'm sure he is. Why don't we just follow his intuition? Let's see how far our luck takes us. Seriously? Things are taking a thrilling turn. Don't worry, I have a good track record when it comes to gambling. There's no way to avoid it. Everyone prepare for collision. The moment Van Helsing's voice comes through the tube. There's a roaring and a tremor. From the deck, I can see smoke rising from a number of different places on the ship. The gas bag's on fire! The engine's about had it too! It's not going to last! But the Nautilus is right in front of us. Impy, do whatever you did before! Just bring us to max speed! If I do not now, the ship's gonna fall to pieces! Let it! We just need to get us onto the Nautilus! Lupin shouts into the voice tube, and without a response from Impy, the airship begins to accelerate once again. The Nautilus continues to make show of it firing its cannons, even as it fills the entire view in front of London. And then... shaking, the sounds of explosions. I can only faintly hear them, but the discomfort pulls me out of my warm sleep. I look up at the unfamiliar ceiling and try to remember the situation I've been placed in. Finis strangled me until I passed out. I can't remember what happened after that. Was it Finis who moved me to this room? I look down at my chest and see the horologium continue to pulse with light. It feels slightly warm, and my body feels heavy. I can move. I haven't been restrained and I can move around. When Finis held that pendant near me in the underground facility, Finis had said that he would release me. Yes, release. But at that moment, I had no way of knowing what he meant by that. When the Horologium completes its transformation into the Philosopher's Stone, what will happen? I then noticed that the clothes I had been wearing earlier had been strewn carelessly around me. Did he find it? I hold my throbbing head and search through my clothes. Here it is. The pill is still inside my pocket, and still inside a pocket where I'd put it. It seems that Finis hadn't realized it was there. Omnibus had given it to me and had been holding onto it just in case. I hold it in one shaking hand. Omnibus told me whatever happens, if I take this, it will let me die in comfort. If I can stop their plan by taking my own life. Right here. Right now. I shake my head. Lupin told me I have to believe in him. That's what I'm going to do. I hear another dull sound coming from far away. What's that noise? Perhaps the Nautilus is being attacked? Is that what it could be? But by whom? The government or... Could it be Lupin? Maybe he's here to save me. That thought energizes my spirit. I can't just sit here in silence waiting for death. If Lupin and the others are fighting hard, I need to at least match them in my own efforts. Whoa! I hear a huge explosion, and this one sounds quite close. The entire room shakes and I lose my balance. At that moment, I hear a harsh metallic sound and the door buckles inwards. The lock is exposed as well. It looks like it might snap at any second. Maybe I can... I take a few steps back. Just like Van Helsing taught me, I deliver a kick using my full weight and momentum. The door falls to the floor with a noisy clatter. Good! I cautiously step out into the hall. Wow, it's amazing. The ceiling is high above me. I'm in a huge hallway and the metallic sounds close by continue to echo. The hall's so wide, 10 people could probably walk abreast and still have elbow room. So this is what it's like inside the Nautilus. I need to find a way out. I start walking down the hall, cautiously looking behind me for anyone following. I don't know if it's due to the Nautilus shaking or if my own condition has worsened. My legs are shaky as I walk on. These tremors and explosions are proof that everyone is fighting hard against the Nautilus. So I need to do what I can to stop this ship. Even if it's strong on the outside, there has to be a weak spot in here. And I know Lupin will be coming for me. I'll do what I think is best while I'm waiting for him. That's all I can do. I search the interior of the Nautilus, hiding from the technicians as well as any patrolling Twilight soldiers. From observing them, I can tell that they haven't realized I've escaped. I sneak into several different rooms and look through them, but I only find things that look like devices to use for maintenance or equipment that controls some tiny function. I need to find the engine room. Where could it be? Found you, sister. I hear a voice from behind me. I hastily turn around, but I feel a sharp pain in my leg. Before I know it, 2 Twilight soldiers are standing on either side of me. One of them has stabbed me in the leg with a sword. I react with a wordless gasp, scream, and crouch down on the spot. What now? Pretending to be in pain. You really are stubborn. You still want to play the part of being human, don't you? No, it really does! Finis kicks me and I roll on the floor. How many times do I have to tell you? The pain and everything you else feel are all artificial. Come on, sister, let's go. Finis starts walking. The Twilight soldiers force me to stand up and walk along with them. I endure gradually worsening dizziness in the heat of the Horologium. All I can do is continue walking, following Finis' lead. I'm brought once again to the room where Finis' main body sits. Gosh, how could you leave your room without permission? Don't you realize I was worried? Your body no longer belongs to you alone. I don't recall becoming the property of someone else. Your glaring doesn't scare me. You have no choice but to actively cooperate with me. I'll never join you. You need to pay better attention. I said you don't have a choice. Because at this rate, you will truly become a being that destroys the world. What? So you really didn't know? You could be so dense, sister.
What are you talking about?
Why are you having such trouble with this? I am speaking as plainly as I can.
I'll never do something like that.
And I'll reiterate that your desires don't really matter. Think about it. Would you really believe that the product of a miracle like the horologium could be contained in a doll? The horologium was activated when it came in contact with me, your brother. The heart wants a body, and the body a heart. It's only natural for the two to seek each other out. You and I are, in essence, two halves of a particular whole. The horologium knows that the body it belongs to is near, and is trying to cast aside the useless fake vessel. This means the horologium has begun losing control, and is trying to kill you. But Father granted your body some tolerance to its effects, so of course it won't be wasted so easily. As a result, the poison simply continues to grow more powerful. Stop. Now that I've told you this much, I'm sure even you can imagine what will happen to you.
Stop it.
Once that miraculous perpetual poison-creating engine has been released from its restrictions,
I don't want to hear it.
virtually every form of life will perish because of your poison. It wanted to live. It was determined to continue living with him. They'll suffer in agony, and still they'll all die.
How? Why? Was all my resistance poisonless? Was becoming a monster my only fate given to me from the very beginning? As I scream, Phineas's expression becomes one of glee. I don't care what happens to you.
It doesn't affect me. As long as I get a hold of the horologium once it goes out of control, Father will be revived. And if your poison works to swat down all those pesky flies buzzing around the Nautilus, that's less work for me. So, no matter what you choose to do, it will only lead to your worst case outcome.
Isn't this great? You've been trouting this cringe-worthy righteousness all this time. But in the end, all you're good for is causing the slaughter of humans.
No. Now, make your choice, sister. Will you become a monster, killing your companions and friends, those you love? Or will you accept your fate, give Father life as a perfect and absolute God? You need to make a decision.
If Phineas is telling the truth, even if Lupin comes to save me, I would end up killing him, the very person I've come to help. My hope turns to despair, my thoughts plunge into terror. I slowly become aware of the small bag in my pocket, the suicide pill that Omnibus gave me. If I take that pill, it would allow me to die before anything else worse can happen. If I die now, the horologium will turn into a normal stone. Isaac and Phineas's plans will end in failure. If I die, Okay! I'm gonna let you choose. What do you want to do first? Do you want to just continue on, or you want to see a bad end? Alright, let me make a save first. Nope, take the pill. If Phineas captures me, I won't even have the option of dying. Then there's only one answer. I yank the bag out of my pocket and a small gem-like pill falls out of it. Sister? What are you? He senses that something is wrong and reaches for me, however. I've already swallowed the pill. And the next moment my vision blurs and my consciousness begins to slip away.
Venice is screaming and the area around me darkens. Everything is growing distant. Omnibus wasn't lying when she said death would be comfortable. Sorry, Lupin. I couldn't wait for you. But it's alright. My death will help you reach your own true desire. Isaac's plan will fail. My time is up. But at least I was able to do something for Lupin. It makes me happy, even though I know it's selfish. Goodbye, Lupin. That's why I can rest happily. Forever and ever, even after I die. I will love you.
Bye, Cardia. Yay! No. I should take it. No, I have to. Even though I understand it intellectually, I can't bring myself to do it. I don't want to die. I don't want to become a monster. I don't want to become a god either. There's only one thing I want. I want to live together with Lupin. Even though this wish lives on feebly within my heart. Don't you get it? I've told you so many times now that it's impossible for you to live alongside someone else. This is so irritating. How many times do I have to tell you, you defect? Never mind. If you can't choose, I'll do it for you. Venice reaches into his pocket and pulls out a test tube with a strangely colored liquid inside. This solution will dramatically increase the speed of the Horologium's transformation. One drop of this will turn you into a monster. Very, very quickly. You would let the world be destroyed while you selfishly rot away in despair. That is what you get for finding love. Even though you're a monster like me. Finish shouts as a drop of the solution falls on my skin. I scream in pain. My chest burns. It really does feel like I'm on fire. It's hot. It's hot. It's so hot. The sensation is akin to having molten iron poured on my chest. It feels like my body is forcibly rearranging itself from the inside. Stop! The pain is making me realize that soon I will become a monster. Those who are fighting so desperately outside, and those who are watching the battle unfold in London, even Lupin who is coming to save me, I'm going to kill them all. Stop! Someone please make it stop! Someone... I cry out in terror and try to hold the light of the Horologium in my hands. But my attempt is cut short in an unexpected way. The globe, the device that is Finis's main body, begins to emit an even stronger light that fills the room in a roaring sound. Look at it, sister! Father is about to awaken. His form is no longer incomplete. He is perfect. Yes, Father is going to awaken as a perfect and complete being. Father is going to be revived here and now and become an absolute god. Finish your voice. Amazing. This is amazing. It feels so good, so comforting. Father's essence is filling this vessel, eating away at my existence. Father, I'm finally one with you. His voice is filled with delight as he falls to his knees, raising both his arms high. Father. He then stops moving like a puppet whose strings have been severed. You good? Finis? I stare fixedly at him, and notice that the pain in my chest has subsided. The silence that follows continues for some time, and I stand there alone.
Good morning, Cardia. My precious heart.
The silence is then shattered. It's not Finis. The voice contains a gentleness that he never had, and an intimidating tone that makes me shudder.
You're... Including my short awakening earlier. This would be the second time we've been reunited. Allow me to formally introduce myself. My name is Beckford. Isaac Beckford.
Ah, so he's finally risen. My father, the man of science who invented the disaster that'll spread tragedy and madness through the world.
It was a long road. So much time and sacrifice was needed to come this far. But I finally realized my ideals can finally be realized. This world will continue to evolve forever under the guidance of my thoughts and science. For that to happen,
Oh my god! Metallic tendrils stretch towards me from the bottom of the device, just like they did at St. Paul's.
come, my beloved daughter. The horologium, your heart, must be sacrificed to me. We shall destroy this worthless world together and bring forth a new creation.
No! The wires forcibly wrap around my arms, strike fear within me. Father's going to consume me. God is going to consume me. God is going to kill me. I want to live with him. Help me. Help, Lupin. You got it. I think I'm hearing things. What? But reality begins moving once more, and smoke fills my vision. I see a single figure wavering in a world of light.
Mademoiselle, can you hear me?
I think I'm hearing things! It's almost like that fated night when he first came into my life.
I do have a confession to make. My purpose for being out here on this night is you, my dear lady. I've come to take you away. Now, don't you fret, mademoiselle. I am here to rescue you from the hands of this machine and with great style.
Watch. I hear the sound of an outstretched wires twang on something forcibly pushes them away. Tears spill from my eyes. I'd almost forgotten. This man who always takes me away from any sadness and pain. Aww, they have such cute CGs. The world's greatest gentleman thief. The man I love.
Who are you?
Gentleman thief, Arson Lupin at your service. I'll be stealing away from you, Dr. Beckford.
Lupin. Lupin! Sorry I'm late. There was a lot I had to deal with.
But now that I'm here, there's nothing to worry about. The chances of Arson Lupin failing a job are always 0. So, we finally meet Isaac. That's quite an entrance for a petty thief. Hand her over if you want to live. The horologium is mine. Don't make me laugh. Have you ever heard of a thief who willingly gave back what he stole? I hope Lupin isn't overdramatic. Sorry, I can't see that. What is it? In bed either. Oh god! Fred!
I see. Then I must take her back by force.
As he says this, several more wires shoot towards us once again. Lupin, you're no match for him! It was never my intention to fight. This dashing thief's specialty is dashing. Thumbs up! Lupin scoops me up into his arms and then turns his back on Isaac and begins to run.
Oh, you think you can get away?
Lupin, the exit is closing! He has no time to respond and simply pistons his legs like a gazelle. Our bodies soar through the air. A second later, heavy doors slam shut behind us with a merciless thud.
glad you're safe. I was concerned, you know. Yes. Partially because I'm proud, more because I'm so relieved. More tears start flowing without warning. Thank you. Thank you, Lupin, for coming for me. A face like yours isn't suited for tears. If you're going to thank me, say it with a smile. Right. I give him a slight nod and wipe the tears away with my hand. Thank you, Lupin. This time, I'm able to smile.
Yay! Last chapter. Warmth. Also, whenever you want to break, please let me know because it's 4 o'clock and I know it's late for you. A high-pitched noise rings through the ship. The entire ship shakes from time to time with small bursts between the sounds, and I hear explosions going off in the distance. Is it the sound of an alarm warning us of the ship's destruction? Or is it going off because I've escaped Isaac's clutches? I'm curious how it ends, though! It's fine! I mean, we can continue if you want to, but I also don't want to keep you up if you're tired. All I know is that the shrill sound is robbing me of my composure. I've desperately tried to keep up with Lupin as he runs, but now I'm reaching my limit. Nausea, dizziness, headache, and chills. The horologium is heating up and my vision starts to blur. Lupin looks at me with concern and I shake my head silently in response. I'm alright. I'm fine. He continues to stare at me as I take ragged, shallow breaths. He quickly lifts me up into his arms. Lupin! You won't be able to run fast carrying me! You'll get caught too! Don't underestimate this gentleman. There's no way I'm going to let you keep I'm going to let you keep running when you're obviously not fit to. Just like Lupin said to say something like this, and I smile. Lupin skillfully avoids anyone else on board and we continue moving. For now, it doesn't seem like anyone has seen us. Oh, I hit the Windows button. That's not the button I want. Alright, so far so good. First we'll need to meet up with everyone and make our escape. Is everyone else here too? Yep, they all have their own reasons for coming along, but they're all worried about you. I nod at his kind speech. I feel a tiny warmth in the bottom of my heart. Then, at the same time, this warmth helps me make a certain decision. With a ship this big, there's gotta be some kind of escape craft somewhere. I interrupt Lupin as he speaks. Lupin, I want you to let me down. Huh? Don't worry, I'm fine. His kind words make it all the more painful and I squeeze his arm slightly. Please let me down. He must have noticed a serious tone in my voice. He slowly puts me down. His look is questioning and silent and I open my mouth to speak. There's something I want to tell you. I know there isn't much time, but I fell quiet for a while, dreading having to say these words. The Nautilus shakes yet again, and there's probably still an intense battle raging outside. Many people are trying to bring down the Nautilus, and my friends are trying to save me. They're all fighting in desperate battle against this flying fortress. Thank you for coming to save me. When I do finally speak, the words that come out are painfully plain. I was so happy to see you again. It moved me to tears. But I look straight into his eyes, and though my voice almost gives away, I'm able to speak with strength. I can't come with you. I feel the heat of the horologium. The sinister heat will soon change me into a force that will destroy the world. What are you talking about? I can't tell him that reason. I can't let him know I'll become a monster. What is the choice here? I can't let him know I'll become a monster. I'm going to become a monster. That's why I can't— Nope, don't quick save. That's why I can't come with you. Come on, you're still saying that. Listen, you're— No! I cut him off forcefully. I don't mean because of the poison in my body. I look straight into his eyes and continue speaking. The horologium's poison is going to become much, much stronger, incomparably stronger than it is now. Lupin simply listens in silence as I desperately try to explain. I struggle to put together the words, and if I say nothing now, I'll never be able to say it. It would become too strong,
I have to stop speaking to pause mid-sentence. It's not just because of the dizziness or pain I'm feeling. It's because part of me still wishes that I didn't have to say it. It would become so strong that it would kill everything near me. I want to stop talking. I want to just run off with Lupin. This strong longing almost makes me shut my mouth, but I fight the feeling and continue. And when I say everything near me, I don't just mean a few meters around me. It means everyone fighting the Nautilus and everyone waiting back down in London. I'm afraid to look in his eyes and look down to avoid finding out what he might be thinking right now. It would involve all of them. My voice begins to waver slightly. I wanted him to come to my rescue. I wanted him to steal me away from my life just like when we first met. So the two of us could run off somewhere together. But that's exactly why. Thank you for coming for me. Not just this time. Thank you for staying by my side through everything. I don't want to lose the precious person I love because of me, so I selfishly try to distance myself. I was able to become human thanks to you. I try my best to put on a smile, to say these parting words. Goodbye, my thief. All I get in response is a prolonged silence. I take one step back and then another, slowly walking away to the distant sound of battle. Then, in the moment when I've completely turned my back on him, Lupin firmly pulls me close as if to negate everything I'm trying to do. What do you think you're doing? Making all these decisions on your own? Goodbye? Don't make me laugh. If the Horologium's going to go out of control, then I have to do something about it, even if it costs me my life. I told you, my feelings for you are real. So what if there's a poison, or you'll become a monster? Doesn't mean a thing. I love you. He said it! He holds me even tighter now. And it's only human nature to risk your life for the woman you love. He quietly exhales a long, silent breath. Instead of giving up everything on your own, try to trust me more, you big doofus. There's a soft thump. As Lupin lightly bumps me on the top of my head with his fist, with a smile as if he might start crying at any moment. Lupin, I don't want to hear it! Just let me handle it! Look carefully, think carefully. Who do you think is standing here before you? It's... Lupin looks at me with a face, locking eyes with mine, and then makes a grand gesture and takes a step away. He then strikes a heroic pose. I am the Arson Lupin, the magnificent gentleman thief renowned around the entire world. He smiles at me. So believe me, I'm going to steal you away, no matter what. He's so cute. Lupin. There's a sudden booming sound. Before I can comprehend what it is, Lupin collapses on the spot. What? A red puddle begins to spread beneath him. And for now, let's stop the playthrough! No, I'm not doing that. Lupin? Lupin? I try to rush to his side, but Twilight soldiers appear out of hiding and grab my arms. Let me go! Lupin, Lupin! No! Don't you dare! Hold on a second. I think I hear something.
Hello, I'm back. I'm sorry if I left you in suspense. Oh, I saw a ping on Discord and I thought it was you being like, get back here. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I left you in suspense.
I found you, sister.
I look around to the origin of the strange voice. He's there again. I see Finis standing there, tossing aside a smoking gun.
You really are useless.
Father finally accomplished a complete awakening.
We can't have his fuel source running off before its job is done. Thanks to you, Father must rest again for some time.
Finis, tell your Twilight underlings to back off. I need to help Lupin.
Why? There's no point. Isn't he already dead?
That's not...
Ah, fine. I'll make sure you never have to worry about him again.
Finis picks the gun up off the floor and points it at Lupin. What? What are you doing? Stop it, Finis! I beg him, screaming to no avail as Finis takes a glance at me. And I hear another gunshot. The sound echoes over and over, and I shock even myself with the intensity of my own scream.
See? You don't have to worry anymore.
No, Lupin! There's so much blood. I feel the strength leave my body as I look down at the horrible sight. Regret whirls in my mind. If only I had been able to say goodbye sooner. If only I had gone off on my own sooner, Lupin wouldn't have had to die. If only I hadn't wanted to have a life with him.
Let's go, sister.
The half-broken Finis invites me to come along. I no longer have the strength to resist. Just as Lupin is shot right before Cardia's eyes, a different story is coming to its conclusion in another part of the Nautilus. We finally found it! You can count on me, the genius engineer. I finally found our target in a flash. They stand in the Nautilus' central engine room. This place, located in the center of the ship, is what they've been looking for. MP's objective is to take back the gravity alleviator. Victor's is to destroy the Zectarium weapon. They're up against Nemo, the keeper of these objects, as well as 10 Twilight soldiers. The two are currently in the middle of the confrontation with them. How convenient the two men most closely linked to me would end up together in the same place. Your brains and your skill. What do you say putting those things to good use right here with me? The future I envisioned is marvelous. Master Isaac will return and the world will be revolutionized with everything and everything will change. Why don't we show this pathetic world the brilliance of science together? While Nemo speaks animatedly, Victor responds coolly. Science isn't for creating tragedy. I'm sorry, but I can't cooperate with you. I almost forgot about him. If you intend on using Zectarium again, I will have to stop you. Or force you to stop. Yeah, no thanks for me too. My device isn't for flying some worthless weapon like this. It's meant to repel hopes and dreams. It's for reaching the moon. Everyone has their own past, their own reasons. Promises exchanged with someone. Vows made to themselves. And although their objective may be differently, Victor and MP stand before their enemy, both with unwavering purpose. You're turning me down? Rejecting me? Unfortunate, most unfortunate, the magnificence of science, the foolishness of this world. I thought I could share this sentiment with you. As Nemo shouts in frustration, more Twilight soldiers rush and Victor and Impy stand ready to fight. Let's do this, Impy. We can't lose this battle, no matter what. You've got it. Let's show them what happens when they cross the two greatest minds in all the world. They start running, moving perfectly in synchronization.
Away from his comrades, Saint Germain is standing alone on the outer hull of the Nautilus. He's filled with certainty. He is sure in this great battle his own role is quite different from those of his teammates, for Saint Germain's enemies are not like the likes of Finis, Nemo, or even Isaac. His enemies are, in a way, even more difficult to deal with than Isaac. They are the guides of destiny, the controllers of history, idea. She's here. He notices something high above him, cutting its way through the night sky. He darts out of the way as a strangely shaped sword smashed into the spot he'd been standing moments before. Hello, Guinevere! Then a knight in gleaming armor appears as if melting out of the darkness. It is the beauty Guinevere, who in the past had led the Knights of the Round Table and the King Arthur to destruction. The strongest apostle, all of Idea, stands before him, ready to stop him with all of her might. You claimed outwardly that you will save her, and then destroy everything in the chaos of the battle. This has the stink of omnibus all over it. Yes, but I must defeat you before that can happen. If we allow you to roam free, you'll try and get in our way, won't you? He nods at her quiet question. You know me too well. Do you intend to repeat the mistake you made back with the Black Plague? Her accusation would bring back the memories of that hell in his mind, the hell he himself had created. But I don't believe that to be the reason enough to give myself up. You one-sidedly decided that something is a mistake and then exorcised it from this world. I don't believe that your decisions are absolute. Is that the conclusions you arrived at? I envy you. I still haven't been able to figure it out. Guinevere begins running at Saint Germain, clearly indicating that the discussion is over. Saint Germain swings his own blade wide to block her attack. The two collide. Everyone's just fighting. Now back to Van Helsing! Van Helsing stares at the person in front of him, keenly aware of the pain in his arm as he breathes shallowly. The figure leaning against the wall has a satisfied smile despite the deep wound he has sustained. I'm impressed. I didn't intend to distract you with multiple soldiers and strike you while they had your attention, but I underestimated you. You and your skills, I developed you. Van Helsing narrows his eyes slightly. He is still stricken by disbelief. Is it really true? What? Everything you just said. Yes, of course. And you've been lying to me this entire time. That it was you who took my family hostage, not Finis. That is correct. The gun in his hand trembles. He resists with great difficulty in giving in to his anger and pulling the trigger. Why? Why did you have to go so far? What do you want from me? I suppose what I want. Someone who understands me. When it all comes down to it. Someone who understands you? Nobody has ever understood me. I know that I am evil, and no one in this world will ever understand how I feel. I like how this route takes everyone's story together. Yeah. I was lonely, Abraham. I wanted a companion. That's insane. You tricked me just for that and made me kill the vampires. For something as petty as that, you killed my family? Van Helsing shouts across, echoes through the room. As the ensuing silence sets in, Alistair smiles. Just kill me, Abraham. Kill a man with no will to fight. Not out of self-defense, but out of sheer hatred. Alistair looks at Van Helsing, his eyes filled with a quiet hope. When your hands are tainted with blood, I'm sure you will finally understand. You'll know how I felt in my loneliness and my sadness. Van Helsing stares at Alistair. His finger tenses on the trigger of his gun. Finally, he lowers his weapon. Are you going to kill me? Leave. Don't you hate me? I could never return to those who trust me if I dirty my hands with your blood. That's all. Alistair slowly shuts his eyes and then heaves a long sigh before he speaks again. I'm disappointed, Van Helsing. I was so close. Now I'm all alone again. Alistair begins walking away, dragging his wounded body. He turns his back on Van Helsing, leaving himself completely unprotected, as if begging to be shot in the back. Was the decision he made correct? Was he right to choose those close to him now instead of revenge? Van Helsing has no way of knowing his answers to his questions. As the sound of explosions echo in the distance, a dull numbness takes over his broken limbs. All of this takes place within the enormous flying fortress, the Nautilus. Alistair drags himself down the shuddering hallway. He really got me there. Battle earlier, there's no mistake in what he's feeling. Broken bones, wounds inflicted in confrontation. More explosions go off in the distance. The British forces are continuing their attacks despite the great disparity in their power between them and the Nautilus. Perhaps the Queen's fleet is being protected by some mysterious power. Their presence gets even more realist, like Alistair, to consider irrational options. I wonder what Isaac intends to do about this situation. The genius scientist Isaac Beckford, the man who single-handedly turned Britain into the world's greatest military nation. Alistair decided to work for him for the first time when he heard about the man's ideals. Isaac plans to spread everlasting hatred throughout the world. It's a great evil that not even the worst villains in history were able to pull off. To think that he would be able to witness this feat coming to fruition with his own lifetime. Truly brilliant. That's why he cannot let anything stand in his way of his own triumph. He must eliminate anyone who tries to stand in Isaac's way. Once the intruders have been eliminated, I would love to see it. A beautiful world filled with endless terror and chaos. I believe that evil and justice are two sides of the same coin. Even as the battle rages on outside, a sudden voice interrupts Alistair's reverie. The definitions of evil and good have changed greatly, depending on the time and the place. It goes without saying that what you've seen as justice on one side may very well be evil to another. However, the voice stops for a moment. Hello! Alistair quietly raises his head and turns his gaze to the figure walking towards him. However, in this world, there are those who could be considered absolute evil, equally evil in the eyes of every society. That's what you are, Jimmy Alistair. Or perhaps I should refer to you by the name that's more familiar to me. James Moriarty. I didn't think I'd run into a familiar face at a place like this. Alistair looks at the man standing there with surprise. He then greets him quietly, like welcoming an old familiar friend. I wonder how long it's been since I last saw you. Quite a while, detective. It's been so long that it seemed you died. I couldn't die without capturing my main suspect. That's how detectives are. Alistair's lips twist into a smile. So you followed me up into the sky all this way, just to come after me. Detective Sherlock Holmes! Sherlock Holmes and James Moriarty, the two arch-rivals exchanging warm greetings and share a smile. It's true, they are old acquaintances. After all, one of them is the greatest detective of all time and the other is history's greatest criminal. Brutal crimes that have been occurring within London as of late. I sensed that you were behind them all, and I've been tracking your footsteps. And you have even changed your name. Such dedication. Yeah, he swapped the first two letters. Or not the first two letters, just the first letter. He's a dumbass. The Holmes name draws unnecessary attention, so I figured if I swapped them. There were some minor inconveniences with a letter, but I've been able to track you down. You weren't exactly fooling anyone with the pathetic attempt at an anagram, Sherlock Holmes. I appreciate how he calls him out and how stupid he is. That name lacks creativity, especially for you. Look who's talking, James A. Alistair. Holmes smiles faintly. I don't care if you call yourself Alistair or Moriarty. The only thing that matters is that you've been involved in most of the incidents that have been occurring in London. You've controlled several followers like your own limbs and crushed your targets one by one. You are the most definitely the Napoleon of crime. Not the Neapolitan. Napoleon of crime. I'm going to make you face justice right here. Holmes silently glares at Moriarty, who is badly injured. Justice. Do you intend to capture me, or... I won't go easy on you as your pupil did. I have authorization from the government to kill you, based on justice as defined by the laws of our nation. Holmes' eyes are bright and clear as he looks over his nemesis. However, Moriarty simply shrugs and shakes his head. What's so funny, Moriarty? It's just... I was thinking about how terribly disappointed you look. I'm about to put it into a long-time enemy. I do feel a slight sense of sorrow. And working on your case was always something of a great challenge for me. Without you, London will likely be less interesting. Moriarty slowly savors these words as the closest Holmes would ever come to admitting that he would miss his enemy's crimes. Then, unable to resist any longer, a smile carves its way into his deeply wrinkled face. I see. So that's what it is. What are you talking about? Well, I had thought that I was all alone in the world. I thought that no one would be able to understand the evil that resides within me. But I suppose that wasn't exactly true. Moriarty thinks to himself, this man, Holmes, is the same as me. Chasing after those cases, looking into the dark side of humanity, has caused Holmes' heart to naturally be drawn to darkness. At this realization, Moriarty looks upward through the sky, though the sky cannot be seen from here, and smiles in high spirits. Holmes, you are exactly as you say. Justice and evil, light and dark, are two sides of the same coin. I never thought that you, of all people, would have thought the man farthest from me would feel so close. You know what's funny? Even though Moriarty is really Holmes' enemy, he's not that majestic in the books. Yeah, I've heard he's kind of average. Moriarty smiles from the bottom of his heart. Very well, Holmes. There's no better choice than you to be the one close to the curtains, to close the curtains on the theatrics of my life. Any last words? Being killed by you brings me satisfaction. I see. Holmes smiles and slowly bows to Moriarty one last time. Setting aside the heinousness of your crimes, I did enjoy our exchanges more than anything, James. Thank you. That is the highest compliment I could receive, Sherlock. Holmes smiles and draws a gun from his jacket. The gunshot brings death knell of the criminal mastermind's life echoes throughout the flying fortress. If anything, you could say the only one worth being Holmes' enemy was Irene Adler. Oh yeah, I've heard she's actually decent. We're here, sister. Let's begin the final preparations. Lupin. All I can see in my mind is the image of Lupin lying on the floor. I should have given up long ago. I should have thrown my hopes away and killed myself sooner. All the people I care about keep dying when the cause of it all is me. I was allowed to keep going on living. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Lupin. That's when it happens. Something within my body begins to change. Finally! The horologium pulsates violently, making me think my entire body is shaking. The time has finally come. My body jerks back and forth, pulled every which way by the ceaseless pulsating. I was so used to sleep with the whole fake Holmes dilemma. I can turn it off if you're tired! An unspeakable horror begins to eat away at my body. The curtains will finally rise. The completed monster will only be the preface to Code Realize. This right here is the dawn of a new creation. Heat and shock build up in my body, which is beginning to glow. Red, yellow, and blue lights dart around me in my fuzzy vision. Fake Holmes is making me sleepy. I am very much awake! Father, look at me, I was useful, wasn't I? His voice echoes sadly. That's why you should love me. The poison completely overtakes my body. There's no more pain and I feel lighter. But there's a new strange sensation. My blood flows through my body in an eerie pulse. The stone on my chest that demands my attention is now something surpassing the Horologium, the Philosopher's Stone. I see in my peripheral vision that my hair is no longer chestnut brown but a shining silver. Cardia has undergone a dramatic change that can only be felt even without laying eyes on her. She is the beginning of the end. She's the key to Code Realize, and an unparalleled monster who will destroy everything. Is this me? So beautiful. A voice that quietly speaks to me is not the static-filled voice from earlier. Father, no. Isaac. Cardia, my beloved daughter. You are finally complete. Right now, you have become worthy of being God's heart. You look nothing like a monster at first glance. Monster? What he says finally makes me remember. Now that I'm a monster, I will spread disaster upon the world. But my poison, because of it, everyone's gonna die. There's no need to panic. My body in this room absorbs the power and the poison of the Horologium. We will still require the crew of the Nautilus to continue working for a little while yet. For a little while, he said, that must mean... But it won't be long. Soon your poison's power will grow exponentially, and not even my body will be able to stop it. You will truly be a monster that spreads death to all. But don't worry, we'll end everything before it reaches that point. Isaac sighs and looks down at his hand, Finis' hand. At any rate, this doll has been obnoxious up until the very end, always gadding about doing pointless things. I suppose he was a failure after all. His voice is so plain and casual. How could you say that? I forget what had just transpired and feel the anger rising in me. Finis wanted so much for you to love him. He was trying to complete Code Realize for your sake. And you... So what? I created that tool. It is only natural for a tool to carry out its creator's orders. You're wrong. Me and Finis, even though we might be fake and artificial, we're both unmistakably alive. We think, we suffer. Our lives may have been different, but they were lives. You would trample over all of them just to justify your desires. You're even much more of a monster than either of us were. Really? How do these annoying personalities develop? I suppose that makes you a failure after all. I'm done with you. I shall extract the Philosopher's Stone from you right now. In an instant, wires of all different sizes stretch forward from Isaac's main body. You wouldn't have had to suffer this much if you had never desired anything from the very beginning. You should have given up on everything while in isolation, not knowing or yearning for anything. Because you are a monster. I'll put an end to all of your suffering for being born in this world.
Give up, stay strong. So, last choice. Let's give up first. Sure, man. Whatever. I'm not sure. It's not a sure thing that the Philosopher's Stone will lose power if I die, but either way I'm gonna disappear. Then I want to die knowing at least I was able to be of some use to everyone. I stuffed my hand in my pocket and pulled a small pill. I'm sorry, everyone, but I'm not able to go through my suicide attempt. Something grabs my hand from the side. No. You no longer have any freedom. Another Finistal appears out of nowhere to grab me. Of course we have to give up because heck life. I try to resist, but in the next moment, I'm entangled in an enormous wire web and lifted high into the air. Get! Now, let us become one, Cardia. His main body emits a white light. There shouldn't be anything within the orb, yet its surface is now covered in waves, like it's covered in water. Okay, if I'm correct, this just goes into a regular kind of bad end, which I'll explain it when we go further in. I couldn't remember if it was a special bad end or not, but I'll just explain what it is when we get there. I won't give up, what? I know all too well that I shouldn't exist, but I don't want to give up on this life that Lupin has saved for me. That's why I've decided that until the very end, until all hope is truly lost, I will continue to fight back. No, you no longer have any freedom. Yeah, I try to resist. Next moment, he picks me up. It's a very bad time. There shouldn't be anything within the orb, yet its surface is covered in waves like it's covered in water. The wires lift me up and bring me closer to the globe. The impossibly watery surface swallows me. I hear the sound of treetops rustling in the wind, the sound of birds chirping. The warm sunlight shines down upon me, weaving through the leaves and branches. It's like a scene out of a painting. When I come to, I'm standing in a forest filled with strange beauty. What am I doing here? I suddenly hear footsteps approaching, crunching through the grass. A young woman approaches me, and I'm too shocked by the change of scenery to step out of her way. Oh, she walks right into me. Then she simply passes through my body. I'm surprised by this impossibility and turn around hastily. The woman keeps walking, completely oblivious to what just happened. Am I a ghost? I finally realize the reason everything feels so wrong. I can't feel the weight of myself standing on the ground. I can't feel the wind brushing against my skin. I can't feel anything. What does it all mean? Is this a dream? My mind's too clear for it to be a dream. I'm considering joining the Royal Society. As I stand there in thought, I hear a man's voice. I've heard that voice before. It's a bit lighter, but gentler, and the voice in my memory. The man is standing in front of a woman who had walked through me. I want to pursue a new path for science. I'm going to do away with the wall between magic and science and bring them together. I know it'll be very difficult, but if I'm successful, I would like to bring you to London with me. So I want you to wait for me. I promise to come back for you. Why are you laughing? It's nothing. That wasn't the best speech you've ever given. She smiles gently. But it's fine. I'm very like you. Then... It's alright. I'll wait as long as you want, Isaac. Isaac. I see. This must be inside Isaac's memory. I've been absorbed into his mind. It only makes sense then that I would be able to see his memories like this. As I become more aware of the situation, I begin hearing a ringing noise. Then I blink, and in an instant the scene around me has changed again. This is a cold, sad story about how a man
became consumed by fate. Once Isaac arrived in London, his talents were quickly brought to light by his time in the Royal Society. He was able to create effective uses for materials that had been previously deemed worthless. He developed cures for diseases said to be incurable. He continued stirring up the scientific community through his discoveries and inventions at a young age. However, even while he found immense success, he never let himself be blinded by pride. He never forgot to work hard and to be kind, and was a pious man who worshipped God on his days off. That was the fundamental core of who Isaac Beckford was as a young man. That's why so many loved him even as they feared him. Eventually, his talent and character were brought to the attention of the nation. As promised, he was sent word by the woman waiting for him in the countryside, and they had a humble wedding. The two looked immensely happy as they vowed their eternal love to one another in a modest formal wear. Isaac was promised a comfortable life and recognized by the government, but one day, Isaac abandons this life. He had contributed enough to the advancement of science. If he were to stay any longer, he would become a hindrance, holding back the aspirations of other scholars. Science needs more than a single genius to help raise the world. It needs the cooperation of all manner of minds. Isaac places his faith in the growth of his colleagues and decides that he himself will help those who are closest to him. He comes to this decision when he and his wife welcomes their twins to their family. He leaves the Royal Society behind, though he's still sought after by many, and his new place of residence is in a famine-stricken village. Isaac continues his own research to save the villagers. He works tirelessly to change the quality of life for those in the village. His wife was understanding of his work, and his children, Cardia and Finis, were both healthy and growing. His research comes to fruition and the village slowly recovers. The villagers see Isaac as a savior and thank him from the bottom of their hearts. Comparable to London, life here is far less comfortable. Still, everyone looks happy. All is going well. At least it does on the surface. 2 years into his life in the village, the gears begin to spin out of control. The famine returns especially hard, and even Isaac is unable to resolve the food shortage. The villagers who had become completely reliant on Isaac at this point were confused on why he could not fix the problem. Claims began to surface that there had been using devil's tricks to forcibly increase the previous year's harvest. That would explain why God is angry now and is punishing this village. They began to blame Isaac for the famine. But Isaac hadn't given up. He tries desperately to find a way to ease the famine and give up his personal fortune to devote himself to research. He never realizes that the villagers' suspicions were coming to a head. That day, Isaac had gone back to London to get a hold of some documents for his research. He gets what he needs and returns home, even more motivated to make things work. But when he returns home, only tragedy awaits. The smell of iron is so strong it's suffocating. His family lies in pools of blood on the floor. His wife has suffered countless number of stab wounds. The twins are badly burned. His children cry out in pain and his wife is barely breathing. But they're still just barely alive. If they can receive proper treatment, they might still survive. He rushes out, asking one of his neighbors to lend him a horse. However, please, I need a horse. My wife and children are dying. There is not much time. Please, please, someone help me. Someone. His pleas fall on deaf ears. Some even send him away by throwing rocks at him. He continues to plead with them even while being pelted with stones. But it all comes to nothing. His wife eventually stops breathing and his children's cries cease. How could this happen? He doesn't understand what went wrong. Why did he choose the wrong day to leave home? Or even before that, had it been a mistake to try and use the power of science to save others? His mind is filled with regret and anger. He continues to rage for some time. After that night, Isaac Beckford is a changed man. He returns to the Royal Society and once again devotes himself to the advancement of science. His theories and techniques get sharper, and nobody other than Isaac himself is able to keep up with his grand ideals. The great Isaac Beckford has gone mad. Rumors about him begin to fly. Isaac himself ignores them, not caring his work is misunderstood by lesser minds. The noble and kind man he had once been is nowhere to be seen. As he pursues and masters every known area of study, he increasingly laments the foolishness of mankind. No matter how many miracles of science he can demonstrate, no matter how much he advances their lives, everything he does goes to waste because of the people who utilize it. Humans who are responsible for the progress of science are incapable of keeping up with its growth. If that's the case, I should just create a new world. He begins to plot, scheming on how to revolutionize the world. Humanity must leave the hands of a god who had stood by idly and started walking on their own. Who would realize that is the name of his operation to begin his ideals to life. An unending evolution of science fueled by eternal war. But this, it is a forged goal created from the results of looking away from his true intentions. What he really wants. A dream? I wake up and find myself in a familiar room. I'm sitting in my seat in the center of the room as usual. I feel like I've been having a very strange dream. A very sad and frightening dream. There's no use in getting caught up in thinking about dreams. I should get up now. Get up for what? Waking up won't change anything. I'll just be here doing nothing, waiting for Father to return for me here. There's no reason for me to wake up. I should go back to sleep. As far as I know, I should have been asleep all this time, but my mind and body are both strangely exhausted. I wonder why. I know I'm a monster and I'm filled with poison, but I don't want to think about it anymore. It's just like Father said, I should just stay here alone. I shouldn't seek love. That way I won't have to endure anything that might hurt me. As long as I shut myself in here, I won't hurt anyone and I won't be hurt. So I won't. Who could that be? To come visit me all the way here, could it be someone from the outside? Stop it. I'm just so tired. Please don't wake me up. Please don't let me hurt you. If I sleep here, I'll never wake up. So just let me. Are you sure that's what you want? I hear the voice I hear is strange. I know it's coming from beyond the door, but it sounds so close. Is that what you really desire? Yes, I want this. This way no one will ever get hurt. You're lying, idiot! I look up at the voice, suddenly becomes harsh. It's not what you want. It's just your sense of duty speaking. You desire something differently, don't you? But listen here, my lady. There is only one answer I want to hear from you. Tell me the wish you truly want to be fulfilled. A wish. The word makes my heart restless. Feels like someone said the same thing to me a long time ago. What was it? Telling you my wish won't solve anything. But it must be said aloud if anything is going to happen. Not to worry, my lady. No matter how wild your wish may be, I'll make it come true. There is nothing that the world's greatest thief cannot steal. Say it loud and clear, Cardia. I'm always ready to take your hand. That's right. How could I have forgotten his name? Lupin! My wish. I want to see you. I want to touch you. Your wish is my command, my beautiful mademoiselle. I swear by the name of Arsene Lupin that I will make that wish come true. The door opens and light shines into the darkness. I extend my hand, and someone I can't see takes it firmly. Hello there, princess. You're in a pretty deep sleep there. So if you don't get good choices with Lupin when you hit this point, Cardia just goes back to sleep and Lupin is constantly yelling out for her and she never wakes up. Lupin! Am I still dreaming?
Hey, I'm not a figment of your imagination. As you can see, I am very much alive and well. Thank you for reaching out to me. I just heard your voice. I wanted to touch you. I'm honored. So sorry for taking so long. Unworthy as I am, Orson Lupin has come so far to take back my beloved princess who had been stolen from me. My beloved, I will never let you go. Yes! I've been waiting for you, Lupin. He lands gracefully and gently and lowers me to the floor. His agility and grace are exactly as I remember. He doesn't appear to be hurt at all. Lupin, didn't you get shot? Escapism and trickery are my fortes. Didn't I tell you that? The secret to that trick relies on Impy's special, super thin bulletproof vest. Bulletproof vest? Yep, comes complete with splurting fake blood. The impact knocked me out, and it's nothing. Let myself feel relief for a moment, but I see my own hair out of the corner of my eye as I nod. Recent events snap me back to my attention. Lupin, how can you rerun? If you stay, my poison will kill you! Hold on there, calm down. Look carefully. You're not melting. You're not melting or in pain. If your poison's already started to go into super overdrive already, we'd all be dead by now. Oh, but how? I'll explain all that, of course, but you've really changed your hair in a short time since we've been apart, haven't you? I liked the original color, but this looks good on you too. I'm lying, that can't be true. This unnatural color is even more proof that I've become a monster. Really? That's more attractive to me than any other gem out there. You're beautiful. You're not a monster. You're the greatest treasure I could ask for. Oh, thank you. Now, it would be great if we could end all this on a romantic note, but I guess that's not going to be possible with the enemy right next to us. That's right, we got completely carried away and completely forgot where we were. I applaud your skill, Orson Lupin. You live up to your reputation. I apologize for calling you a petty thief. Why, thank you! Your praise doesn't really mean that much to me, though. Were you acting in secret without revealing to her that you were still alive? All that so you could bring her back from her monstrous state. Bullseye! It wasn't easy, but it was a true test of my resolve to keep myself from rushing forward a number of times. What are you talking about? It's simple. The Philosopher's Stone, or Horologium, essentially releases a poison proportionally to the energy it produces. So the opposite should be true as well. If Isaac wants to take all the power out of the Philosopher's Stone, that's fine. Let him take as much as he wants. All you need for yourself is the little bit of power, enough just to stay alive. Oh. That's quite a gamble. If you hadn't been off with your timing by even a little bit, she may have lost her life. Maybe. But it was the most promising bet if I was going to keep living with her. But the Philosopher's Stone makes endless energy. It's going to build up again and I'll just become a monster again. You don't need to worry about that. Surprisingly, the one who addresses that concern is Isaac. The energy-producing function is mostly under my control now. What remains of your body is just the amount of poison that you originally had. Even less, perhaps. And the poison that still remains within you will be exhausted after a few uses. Yeah, I'm trying to wrap up, I'm sorry. Are you okay? Okay, so unfortunately I do have to leave now, so we have to unfortunately call it here. But we can finish this off tomorrow, not tomorrow, because I work tomorrow. We can finish this off next weekend. We should be able to just wrap it up quickly, and then I can show you some CGs from the fan disc. I do hope you've been enjoying it so far. We've gotten a long... How long have I been streaming? No, it's been a while. I don't see how long it's been streaming, but it's been a while. It's okay. Oh my god, it's been almost 4 hours. Holy shit. Okay. I've got to go now. Bye bye.